Well, none of them can hide from the truth, yeah. Children have to go back to the roots, yeah. None of them can hide from the truth, yeah. Children have to go back to the roots. I'm telling you now, the truth, the truth. Telling you, yeah, the truth, the truth. You have to go back to the roots, the roots. Go to the roots, to the roots. Yeah, man, this is Benjamin out of the Smiling Coast, West Africa, Gambia, representing for the one and only Abu, the big man you don't know, the Soninke warrior, the man that brings the truth, Soninke warrior, the sign of enlightenment, the Soninke warrior, the righteous and the true African. Abu, reveal the truth to them, no matter how them try run from it, because none of them can hide from the truth, yeah. Yes, we have to dig back the roots, yeah. Fire!
Subscribe now.
I remember the days, all those years ago that never fade away. And I remember your face when you hit the ground. I can recall the time and place on a midnight walk through the old streets, trying to turn back the clock to the days of old, back to the days when all the things we knew were made of gold. As the world moves on, time sings a song. In the old neighborhood, as the clock strikes one, the memory lives just as it stood, like a quiet dream.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Afridamus Report. I'm your host, Afridamus. I want to welcome all of you to another edition of the Afridamus Report. Please make sure you hit the like if you haven't already done so. And I want to say hello to AB, Rasmus, and all the people that I haven't mentioned. So, ladies and gentlemen, the topic today, this is very, very interesting because you see, we've always, touched on it, but we were talking about this in an era where the government itself, the establishment, which is the Democratic Party, they formed an alliance with the woke section of their political party. And where did they start? When Barack Obama was able to come in and get the blacks on board. And of course, ever since the so-called civil rights era, when the blacks, chose to have quote-unquote leaders. I mean, think about it. They live in a country, right? They have a governmental system. But the blacks, instead of continuing, being within each other as a family, where the father would be the head of the family. No, they started promoting the single mothers to be in charge, just like they went back to the plantation, the exact slave plantation that never ended, by the way. So they put the women in charge, and these women are bitter. They compete with their men. They are given the advantage. In fact, they would say, oh, the black women, they are the most educated. Anytime you hear in a communistic country that they say certain group is more educated, what they mean is they are more loyal to the system. Educated meaning they are way more brainwashed. You see? So this so-called education, they talk about HBCUs, they subscribe to these Greek movements. Imagine, these are blacks who were brought from Africa. So sending them to college to go educate their women, education meaning brainwash them. Now they think they are Greeks. So they are completely being distanced away from themselves. So their loyalty was entirely, and still is, to this system. Because if you don't believe me, look at all the quote unquote key positions, even in the system. Who is handling it? Who are the prosecutors? And do you think they are appointed in this position because they are smart? Obviously, listen to them talk. You know that they are not smart. There is a puppet master behind. But because they've convinced them that because of your blackness, which is what they are insecure about, they are jealous of the white woman. So whoever is playing this game, they've mastered it because they understand if they can get the black woman to internalize self hate, because they know she would never ever be white. So they get her to forget about who she is, her own beauty, you know, and then they make her feel good. They're like, look at you. You are so educated. But they enter these colleges through affirmative action. They say HBCUs. Name the smart people you've seen from those HBCUs. Name them. You can't find them. So the blacks and the effeminate men became the right arm of white supremacy. You see, so it becomes like a double-edged sword. So imagine a group of, like, they would make it a group thing to say, hey, just because you are black, I'm black, we both have this skin color, so that means we share experience. So imagine when you make people feel empowered like that. It's not based in reality, but they think it's real. And when you raise women to be the ones in charge, guess what? You're seeing what you're seeing, because these women, they feel empowered, they lack shame, they lack conduct, they have no problem, displaying their ignorance. But do they know they are being ignorant? Some might. Some are playing games, but some truly believe in this. I mean, think about it. This didn't just happen just out of the blue. So I want you to understand the people I'm speaking of. You cannot hate them. You can't hold it against them. Okay? I'm just showing you the system they exist in, what they were trained to do. Because sure, it will be easy for somebody to look at their situation and say, and play Monday night quarterback, because you would be telling them, no, you know what? This right here, what you were taught, is a lie. It's not going to be easy to, because if you're telling this person this is a lie, right? Compared to what? As opposed to what? But the same system they criticize, they are in fact the ones in that system, and they are promoting it. They are promoting the system, but they don't know it. So you have Barack Obama when he came in. Remember, Obama came off as this nice, cool guy. You see? So Obama was a college professor as well. Go look at what he teaches. Go look at what he used to teach in the college. So it's about how to take power. So why would they teach that in college if it's just to go to those colleges? So if you look at even the gradual progress, so it's not only the black women, the woke white women also that you see are also the right arm of white supremacy. So it's easy to indoctrinate these women. It became an indoctrination center. But the woman, the black woman, being in charge of their black boys, because they are given the power over them, they effeminize them. They put fear into them. So when Obama, remember when Obama was in charge and when Trayvon Martin, he said George Zimmerman, took his life, maliciously because he was black. What did Obama say? Some of you forgot. Obama said, if I had a son, he would look just like Trayvon Martin. But you see, what he did there was pull in the sentiment, pulling in the sentiment. So the false flags, where did it happen? Then they had a shooting in the black church. Mind you, when the blacks were fighting for liberation, the church is very important in the black community for their liberation. So how do you attack the blacks to get the blacks to, to submit 100% to what the agenda is? That's what they did, because the blacks eventually, instead of worshiping God, they subscribed to skin color. It's called the Church of Racism, and Obama walked it. He told black people, oh, if Trayvon Martin, if I had a son, he would look like Trayvon. Imagine that. So if Obama was saying that the system the system is subjugating black people, and he is president, he had the power, he had the Senate, he had Congress. Obama did not propose any bill, any law to say, okay, since Obama, you saying Trayvon was targeted because of he was black. Okay, don't give lip service. Just say, pass a law. He didn't do that. You know why? Because he is tugging at the black people's heart, your emotion. He blinded many. When Dylan Roof walked into that church, which maybe it could be a psyop, and he took out those people, what did Obama do? He went to that church and he sang the Al Green song. Because the blacks are all about entertainment. But this moment did not require call for entertainment. And of course, there were many blacks who were smart. They understood what was happening. When they spoke up, when they pointed this out, they were called Uncle Toms. So you guys didn't realize what was happening. Identity politics started taking on roots. And then they transform affirmative action. What is, affirmative action? It's mostly white women that benefited from it and black women. Let's just call a spade a spade. And they say, oh, the school to prison pipeline. You know who's running it? That's right, you guessed it, the black woman. From the time that little boy is born, when the father, Tyrone is kicked away, of course he's irresponsible. But how did he become irresponsible? Who taught him? You see what I'm saying? Like the black women, they would say, oh, they ain't no real men. But the majority are raised by women. So that means they failed. But because they've been taught to internalize their hatred. You see, when you play in identity politics, what they did, they mastered it in America because they get you to believe that your disadvantage, like let's say if it's your skin color, your entire nature, you can't change that. There's nothing you can do about it. Imagine you walking around feeling like you are not doing good because of your skin color. You make excuses with that. So they focus on that. Like if you are feeling down, you are saying it's racism. Like, you cannot change your nature. You can, even if you bleach your skin, you're still black. This is why even you would see that rich black people like LeBron James would come out. Imagine LeBron James, he would come out, Oprah, they would talk about how oppressed they are. And anyone that there speaks opposite of that, that person is an Uncle Tom, you know? So eventually the blacks, they bought into it, they bought into the victimhood. They just want to be victims. They want to be able to go to Harvard without getting good SAT scores. They want to be able to smoke weed, sag their pants, get women pregnant, shoot one another, you know, get lower GPS and enter colleges. Because the blacks do not promote education. That's a fact. So this is why you're seeing all these Fannie Willis and all these people being promoted. It's not because they are smart. No, they are not. But then you ask yourself, who is enabling the blacks? Exactly. The blacks are the system. When you watched that George Floyd memorial at that church, that George Floyd memorial, and you saw those white people you saw with their kente cloth kneeling down, yes, Nancy Pelosi and the whole bunch in that black church, what we, the smart people, saw were like infiltration. And Fannie Willis, when she got caught defrauding the system, when they turned it against her, where did she run? To the black church. So we started seeing more and more of this. We're like, oh, they are bought. Even Al Sharpton, the biggest race hustle. Let me show you Al Sharpton, how he tried to defraud the blacks by telling them reparation. Because the blacks, they want it easy. They think people owe them. They became entitled. They've tricked them into believing that they are victims. So over these years, when Obama was there, he didn't do anything for them. He just did tokenism, promoting a few blacks. Some of them are homosexuals, females. These are people who don't care about the blacks themselves. But hey, they are getting paid. And since they were able to convince a bunch of black people to buy into the symbolism, now it became that. So in the last few years, they started pushing the idea of reparation. They said slavery. They said they were slaves, as if they were the only slaves. So this is what's bringing us to today's conversation. We've moved on from slavery a long time ago, and it is high time, whether the blacks like it or not, they can't talk about it anymore. We got an African American in, Elon Musk, all the way from South Africa, came to America, lifted himself by the bootstrap to where he is. Vivek Ramaswamy, his parents from India, came to this country, lifted himself. So now today, those people, they are in charge of DOGE, Department of Efficiency. So that's what the conversation will be. I want to put, review an interview between Elon Musk and Don Lemon. So he's woke. He would consider himself FBA. They had conversation about quote unquote mythical racism because racism doesn't exist. It's just made up. I mean, imagine you classify yourself as a victim and then you pick other people as the oppressors. You get to demonize these people. They can't say anything. You are like, oh, it's because we were slaves. Are you slaves right now? Everyone have been slaves at one point in this life. And it depends on when it was. But the blacks like to say, oh, we are unique, we are different. We were slaves, but you were free 150 years ago. You see? But now the Dutch being formed, what can be their argument about why they're not making it? What is it gonna be? Because what they do is they use cultural difference and call it racism. And and then eventually over these years, the blacks have become the most racist people, and aka that will be called hateful. They are very jealous, they are very hateful, they are not inventing anything other than dances. And this is not, I'm not picking on the blacks. They complain about the same system that I mean, if today if we have people in robes, the blacks would be the ones in robes. So this is why this throughout this year towards into the beginning of the year, all this episode would be covering the death of racism and wokeism, victimhood. As you Al Sharpton recently just got exposed, as the race hustler that he is, receiving money. So all these talking heads you're seeing for the blacks, black power, they are all bought and paid for. So it's not safe to listen to the blacks because the blacks are following delusion and they are fighting. Their delusion is coming to an end. Let me show you Al Sharpton deceiving the blacks about reparation. Here we go. Area reparations for descendants of Africans enslaved.
If you elected president, would you sign that bill if it came across your desk?
When I am elected president, I will sign that bill.
That's right. Did you see? Yeah, if we elect you, we would sign, the bill. And she laughed. She laughed. That's how everyone was. So this election exposed the blacks. They realize they can vote 90% on the other side. It means nothing. Absolutely nothing. Trump owes them nothing. This administration owes them nothing. All that fight, they were saying, oh, Project 2025. You know what Project 2025 is? You're about to find out. But, Elon Musk, who, he's one of the people they're going to be cutting back in government. Elon Musk, you think he's going to listen to wokeism? Do you think Vivek is going to listen to wokeism? Let me show you. And, the FBA race hustlers, they are worried about what Elon said because they know that, all that game is over. From hashtag cut the check to reality check. Let me do my disclaimer and we'll hear from one of the greatest grifters, Tariq Nasheed, why he is worried, and the other race hustlers. Here we go. All right. So let us see here what Tariq Nasheed says about the topic we are about to hit here.
Shout out to everybody. Shout out to the non-FBA folks. Usually they start calling in from the UK and Nigeria and all those places. Speaking of delineation, Elon Musk tweeted something very interesting. Elon Musk tweeted, everybody is descendants of slaves or slave owners, because Sunny Hostin from The View, I think she did some kind of DNA test from what I understand, and allegedly the DNA test shows that she descended from some slave owners or whatever, which is common. And a lot of folks were sexually assaulted by slave owners. So yeah, well, a lot of us descend.
So you notice the crazy thing is, so the blacks like to come out, and tell you, oh yeah, like if like Sonny Hostin, who's touting racism, you come like Angela Davis, they do DNA tests, they find out they come from slave owners. So he likes to say, oh, like the blacks would make excuse and say, oh, those people were raped by the slave owner. Okay, fine. If even that is true, that means you have the blood of your own owner. You cannot separate yourself from yourself. You can't run away from yourself. But they like to tell, oh yeah, we were raped. So this is the level of grifting, because if they're saying those people were raped and they came from that blood, how can you trust somebody who disrespects their own blood because they say they're going by lineage? No one can respect a people like that. But then you would read history, you would see. So these people, they dump on all, let's say, even the noble black people who were married to white people. In fact, it was a black woman who went to the Supreme Court to fight for marriage equality, for them to be able to marry white men. So they're trying to say no black woman legitimately during those days ever married a white person. But the point is, they disrespect their own bloodline. But Sonny Hostin is that, came from the slave owners. It's been also said that Kamala Harris came from plantation owners, slave owners in Jamaica. But you're gonna go ask somebody that came from the slave owner class to give you reparation. Okay.
From slave owners and slaves. But Elon said, yeah, everybody's a descendant of slave owners and slaves.
All right. So that's what the race hustler Tariq Nasheed is doing. So they generalize. What they do is they would generalize everybody. Everybody. Guys, please get the likes up. Get the likes up before we get more into the show. So what they do is they keep talking about racism nonstop. So let's go to Morgan Freeman 10 years ago. He was interviewed. He's a black man who lifted himself by the bootstrap. And they asked him, and you will see where he even had conversation with Don Lemon. This is before Don Lemon became the race hustler that he is. So let's hear from what Morgan Freeman said about blacks being given Black History Month.
History Month you find
ridiculous.
why?
You're going to relegate my history to a month?
Oh, come on.
What do you do with yours? Which month is White History Month? Well, come on, tell me.
Well, I'm Jewish.
Okay, which month is Jewish History Month?
There isn't one.
Oh, why not?
Yeah.
Do you want one?
No.
No, I don't either. I don't want a Black History Month. Black history is American history.
How are we going to get rid of racism?
Stop talking about it.
Bingo. So Morgan Freeman is right. Smart man. So why do you want to separate us and say we're giving you a month? It's not even a full month. It's in February. In February. Black history is American history. It's a fact. But you see, some of them, they were upset. They're like, oh, Freeman, it's a sellout. These are the ignorant Negroes. These are the ignorant ones. the ones that say they are the Boule, the Greek, because look, they go to these HBCUs, and what do they learn there? They want to be in power, but they don't have the brain power. So they grift. They use racism, sexism to divide the people. And of course, the simple Negro in the field have already developed some hatred for the white man. This is why when you meet a lot of these quote unquote educated blacks, you can never understand. You're like, man, what planet do you live on? It's like the things they talk about in reality are far, like, it's not real. I have taken African American studies, they call it. And it's woke history is just made up. A lot of made up history. The things that the blacks say they are offended by is all fabricated in the news media, if you've noticed. If something happens to someone who's black, they would report it and amplify it and say, now this is what is happening to every black person. The guy could say, you could see the guy in Timberland boots. He could be caught on cameras scouring people's residence to steal, and then they would say he's jogging. Who jogs in the Timberland boot? But they would say things like that. And guess what? If you even ask questions, logical questions, which is normal for people, it makes you a hater. It creates divide and dissent. So this is why you're seeing them. A lot of them are crying really hard. They say, you don't know what's coming, Project 2025. Well, Project 2025 is the end of victimhood, the end of slavery stories. So let's hear more of what Morgan Freeman says.
I'm going to stop calling you a white man.
Yeah.
And I'm going to ask you to stop calling me a black man. I know you as Mike Wallace. You know me as Morgan Freeman.
The whole thing, especially the president and Democrats now are talking about income inequality.
So this is the beginning when wokeism started. So let's hear what. So Don Lemon here wants to push the idea that people are poor because of their skin color. This was the agenda. I mean, think about it, guys. Why do you think all of a sudden, within this short period in time, all the people that are going to college, especially the women, even the men, everyone is putting bull rings in their nose, different piercings, they're taking basket weaving classes. And you talk to people, it's like, you're like, wow, what are they teaching in the colleges? This was the beginning. Because if you tell someone it's because of their skin color is the problem. But since they cannot get rid of that, because you're telling them that other group is treating you badly, even though like you're responsible for yourself, they're like, no, you know what? You're not making it because of that. And then you take them to these quote unquote colleges. You put loans on them. They take stupid classes that people are not going to employ them. You even make them dumber, but you make them feel important. So when they come out, and if you don't hire them, guess what? They say, oh, because they are black. I got a degree. I got this and that. But you're like, hey, your degree is not valuable. Like you you would have been better off when you were a teenager. You continue working at McDonald's. Maybe you would have been a manager by the time you were, 24 or something, and you could easily maybe make 60 grand. And if you're good at your job, you can become regional manager and make six figures or something. But now you've racked up, 200,000 in basket weaving. How now you got to pay for this. And then here you come, you know, some white dude, he just learned, he went to technical school, he's a plumber or electrician, he's easily clearing six figures. No college debt. He didn't have to go to that same college. He learned it hands on. Or the guy, he's like a foreman, concrete carpenter, welder. I'm talking tangible skills. So you can see why these people, they were told they are the chosen, they are educated, and they're making less than those dumb peasants. So the only way that plumber, Joe the plumber, or Joe the electrician can make all that money is because, can't you see, he is white. It's not because Joe is smart to understand that, look, I'm going to go acquire a skill that is needed and people are going to pay for it, because that's what a capitalist system is about. You either produce products or you have great service. So you just got to be smart. So they're like, nah, that plumber right there, he's making that money because he's white. When in fact, it's not true. So here we go.
That's basically what, when you talk about the richest 85 people on the planet, right?
Yeah.
It's income inequality. Do you think that's, looking at, what's happening in the news now, is that a good idea?
It's a great idea. It is the greatest idea. We have a much more vibrant society when we don't have such a vast chasm between the haves and the have-nots. We need that middle ground that we call the middle class, the people who buy everything, people who use the products that the rich are creating, if they're creating anything other than wealth, right?
Right.
So it's what's happening with the Chinese economy right now. They're changing their whole outlook because they...
Mind you, this interview is 10 years ago, before the mind virus, before the woke virus entered, these people's brains. So Morgan Freeman is speaking just logic, straight facts. Yes, a middle class is needed. The rich is needed, because these companies are owned by the rich people. So these people that are crying racism and all this stuff, they can't create anything. They can't create any company. They just cry about mythical racism. They say, we built America. No, you didn't build anything. You participated. Not like everyone participated. Everybody in America that pays taxes, contribute, participated, and continue to participate. But you got people telling you what happened 400 years ago. They are stuck in 400 years ago, when people are trying to move into the future. Like, I hate to tell you, but honestly, like, I don't care about what happened 400 years ago. I didn't live during that time. I live now, and I care about the future. That's all. The people that lived 400 years ago, I cannot speak for them. I can't. I was not there. So, but most people, they talk as if they were there. Here we go.
need consumers.
Yeah.
And without a middle class, you're not going to have consumers. You're not going to have it at the level that we normally would have it.
So can I go back to, because I thought what you said was fascinating, because you called it bull when you said people can't, pull themselves up. Do you think that race plays a part in wealth distribution, or either a mindset that you can't
Today?
or cannot? Yeah,
No,
you don't.
no.
Did you see? So Lemon pushes the idea that does race play a role in wealth acquisition? Morgan Freeman said no. He said today, no. Of course, when during slavery in America, when it was legal, it could play a role because you can own the slaves. They can, anything they acquire, you can take it, but not today, which is a fact. This is why we have the LeBron Jameses, we have the Kanye's, Shaq, Oprah. Um, I mean, it's plenty of rich black people. So even Tariq, the blacks gave him what, 2 million. So race will not stop you today.
I don't. I don't. Hey, you and I, we're proof. Why would race have anything to do with it? Put your mind to what you want to do and go for that. It's kind of like religion to me. It's a good.
Bingo, he said. Racism, black racism is a religion. This is why if you don't agree, imagine somebody arguing for disadvantage instead of advantaging themselves. You are talking yourself down. All you talk about is what you can't do. How did you become like that? What kind of life is that? And you blame it on your skin color. So most black people in America, they have internalized self-hatred and they project that onto Africans. When you notice when the way they speak about Africans, that's how they see themselves. Most of them. So I'm glad he's pointing this out.
Excuse for not getting there.
I said, and it's probably get me in trouble, but I said to some of my colleagues recently, so I know that it's an issue, but it seems like every single day on television I'm talking about race, and it's because of the news cycle, it's in the news, but sometimes I get so tired of talking about it, I want to just go, this is over, can we move on?
And if you talk about it, it exists.
Right.
Yeah. It's not like it exists and we refuse to talk about it, but making it a bigger issue than it needs to be is the problem we have.
So I understand you.
So you see it. The racism is manufactured. So these wokesters, these blacks that are running around, the reparation movement, all these people, they don't have a talking point if the racism is not manufactured. I mean, think about it. They say America is racist, but they won't leave. In fact, they have to fabricate racism. They have to fabricate it. We see it all the time. LeBron James spray painting on his gate being called the N-word. But they put this N-word in their music. How can you take that serious? So it is fabricated. Here we go.
You had a birthday. You're 27?
No. Got that on 37.
All right. So now you're talking about his birthday. So let me show you the clip of Vivek Ramaswamy, whose parents immigrated to this country. And Elon, he immigrated here. So Ramaswamy would be working with Vivek to cut down on government spending. So imagine if they got to cut down on government spending, do you think the blacks would get reparation? Hell no. Let's hear what he is about to say about DEI. DEI is when they lower the standards for the blacks so they can enter colleges. Yeah. And then they're like, oh yeah, we are so educated. But they lowered the standard, or they lower the standard at jobs. So the Doge, they are going to remove all that. This is why the people were crying. They are like, You cannot let these people get in there. Fascists, they're, these are Hitler people. They're going to bring Project 2025. Well, let's hear from him. Let him explain what that is. And this is what everyone is looking for. Equal opportunity, but not equal outcomes. But they want people, the blacks, like DEI. Because Kamala became vice president, not because of her competence, because he is DEI. They told the blacks that she is black when she is Indian and Irish. So that alone is like these people, they form an alliance based in lies. That's why everything is falling apart. If you follow their path, you will fail woefully. But 2025 is not looking good for the race hustlers. Let's hear from Ramaswamy, and you will get an idea of what things are going to look like. Here we go.
American in the year 2024. It means we believe in the ideals of 1776. It means we believe in merit, that the best person gets the job regardless of their skin color, that you get ahead in this country, not on the color of your skin, but on the content of your character and your contributions. That's why we're done with the woke DEI agenda, bringing in meritocracy to America.
You guys hear that? They are done with the DEI. This is before the election. So this battle have been won way before the election. And I'll be doing his interview with Al Sharpton. But this is a speech he gave at Madison Square Garden. Yeah, that rally that they were calling the Hitler rally. So he's like, we're done with DEI, and to some of you old folks, you call it affirmative action. The era of that slave story, pretending to be slave to get reparation, is over. That's what he's letting you know. If you gotta put in work, to be recognized. That's what he's saying. This is what, imagine, what can you say to this man? His parents came here as immigrants, and they pulled themselves by the bootstrap. And I understand this is why these race hustlers, the blacks, they hate on, foreign blacks. So how can you disagree with this? You can't. He's like, hey, it's based on what you can do. It's not based on skin color. Meritocracy. That's what it's all about. But there are people who are disagreeing with this, and they say, oh, they are builders. How can any builder agree to this? So they formed alliance, not just based in skin color, but sex, like transgender. This is why you see in Joe Biden's cabinet, he's got men pretending to be women. You see? And it's like people just agreed on lies. And you know what's funny? The blacks themselves are seeing that Joe Biden is one of the people that wrote the law about, like the crack law, to send the blacks to prison for crack. And now his son, a crackhead, he pardons him from 2014. We'll be touching on that story. So to me, Joe Biden is he knows his people. That's why he said, if you don't vote for me, you ain't black. You guys think it's a skin color. That's the black Irish family. The blacks were raised by the Irish and the Scots. They are not Africans. Okay? The game they are playing, you're seeing it. They are not Africans. These are black Irish and Scots. So here we go.
It means we believe in the rule of law, and I say this as the kid of legal immigrants to this country. That means your first act of entering this country cannot break the law. And that is why if we've had the largest influx of illegals into this country in American history, we will have the largest mass deportation in American history. That is not racist or xenophobic. That is what it means to stand for the rule of law in the United States.
So You see, he said mass deportation. His parents came here legally, but the blacks, some of them, to show their hate, what did they? Oh yeah, the Africans, they're gonna get deported. No, you're not gonna get deported because you're African. If you're here legally, why would you be deported? So now all of a sudden they want deportation for the Africans. No, not all Africans. If they're here legally, sure. America is a country of immigrants. This man's parents are immigrants. You want to, this, we are talking about the future. All that slave talk, that's in the past. I can assure you. Why would you want to latch onto an era where you were in chains? So this is why this era here, this is a threat to people who are clinging onto victimhood. Let's hear more of it.
America. It means we believe in self-governance, that the people we elect to run the government, for God's sake, ought to be the ones who actually run the government, not unelected bureaucrats in the deep state that are running the show today. So you want another mass deportation? Let's get 3 million federal bureaucrats out of the D.C. bureaucracy. That's the mass deportation that saves the country. What does it mean to be American? It means...
Hey, you guys remember how, like, Tariq Nasheed, the FBA group, they like to tell the Africans, why aren't you doing this in Africa? See, Vivek, he's a billionaire. He was born here. You notice they're not going to say that to Vivek. They're not going to say that to Elon. You see what I'm saying? So Africans, don't waste your time dealing with people who talk all that nonsense. See, Vivek here is letting them know this is how it's going to be run. You notice they're not going to be like, oh, Vivek, we built this country. Because he knows they are full of it. He built himself. He got companies. He can employ them or fire them. That's facts. You know how they will, oh, I work for corporate America. Guess who built corporate America? People like him. Immigrants. And white people. So let's continue.
We have elections we can trust and believe in, and that means single-day voting on Election Day as a national holiday with paper ballots and government-issued ID to match the voter file. That's how we save the country after we win it this time by voting early. These are not black ideas or white ideas. They are American ideals that set this country into motion. We're in a war to revive them, and right now we need the commander-in-chief who will lead us to victory. That is your next president, Donald J. Trump. If you want to seal the border, vote Trump. If you want to restore law and order in this country, vote Trump. If you want to grow the economy in this country, vote Trump. If you want to revive national pride in this country, vote Trump. If you want to stay out of World War III in this country, vote Trump. If you want to make America great again, vote Trump.
Exactly. You guys heard that. They didn't hide it. You know, this is what the majority want. How can you argue with it? There's nowhere in this that talks about reparation. None of that. So the blacks have no choice. They have to become Americans. They have to. All right. So now let's get to the main event. Elon Musk, his interview with Don Lemon. So before we do it, I just gotta introduce some music and how the blacks, some of them were acting. But this is to introduce the real African American man from South Africa. Let's see how Africans feel about it.
You know what? If you want Donald Trump to win, then say Trump 2024.
All right. So you see that the Africans are excited. Let's see, how some of the blacks feel about the coming of Trump.
I can do some shuffling too. Look out, man, what you gonna do? Look out, boys, it's coming through. Yeah, man, yeah, man. he got educated feet.
Right. Let's see how much educated feet does Don Lemon have. Guys, I know some of you are pissed, but hit the like. Let's get the likes going. If you're enjoying the show, please get the likes up, and feel free to support the show. The super chats, they're highly encouraged here. So let's see the interview between Don Lemon and Elon Musk. Here we go. They're going to be talking about racism, DEI, and all that.
Next, there was a repost of Ben Shapiro that you claim that DEI is killing people. Specifically, you point to medicine. You claim that DEI programs are putting people at risk. Do you really believe this to be true? And what evidence do you have to support it?
What I was referring to there was that if we lower the standards for doctors, such so that they, if the test for a doctor is lowered, then the probability of them making a mistake and killing someone is obviously going to be higher.
Wait, say that again. I'm not sure I understand what you said. I want to make sure I understand what you're saying.
Yes, if the standards.
So, Elon Musk is right. So why would you lower the standard for doctors just so you can feel good about yourself? If you're intelligent, why would you want the standards to be lowered? Uncle Rock said, you're not making money off this video, Afridamus. Guys, prove Uncle Rock wrong and hit that super chat. Uncle Rock is triggered. He does not want the real information to come out. And you know what? Believe it, these people are not going to go down without fighting, because this is their world. Imagine if the blacks cannot make people feel guilty based in skin color or bring in slavery. What can they talk about? They can't talk about building roads. They can't talk about building skyscrapers. They can't talk about, starting, tech industries. So I get it. They will be very, very upset. They're not going to donate to the show. So those of you that are enjoying the show, support the show, hit the super chats, so we can keep bringing this content to you. Get the likes up. Prove Uncle Ruckus wrong.
For passing medical exams and becoming a doctor, or especially something like a surgeon, if the standards are lowered, then the probability that the surgeon will make a mistake is higher. They're making mistakes in their exam. They may make mistakes with people, and that may result in people dying.
What evidence do you have, though, that they're lowering the standards? There's no evidence of that.
I believe there is.
Of that, Elon. What is the evidence?
So, Don Lemon, for this interview, Elon, think about it. This guy is a multi-billionaire. He's the richest man. So he's looking to get a job from him, to employ him. So he begged and begged. He got this interview. But look at the type of foolish questions he is asking, as if he's talking to one of, these ghetto blacks or fellow race hustlers. So he's wasting Elon's time. But it's good that Elon is in charge of Dodge. You are seeing why the race hustlers are worried. You've heard Tariq, what he said. He knows the grift is coming to an end. It's coming to an end. Elon is not here to pamper it. Elon is way smarter than Don Lemon. Let's just be real. So let's watch this.
I believe that,
and Elon is African, by the way.
They have literally lowered the standards at Duke University, and that is what the article was referring to.
There's no evidence.
Saying they have not lowered the standards?
There's no evidence about lowering standards, and I think that there is.
Believe that is a false statement you're making.
Okay, well, we'll figure it out.
Yeah,
I think
the interesting thing is when this is posted on the X platform, there will be a whole bunch of things that rebut what you said and what I said, and so people can then make their own decision based on the replies.
So this is 8 months ago. And you see, Elon has got patience. He's got lots of patience. He's like, hey, Don Lemon, you can say what you want here. But this, post it on X, post it on social media, let people listen to it, and then you go to the comment section. So if what Don Lemon is saying doesn't advantage the blacks or people that think they are victims, if it doesn't advantage them, then why is he fighting so hard? Debating, trying to, make it seem like people should do that. Why? Oh, Supergirl, thank you for the super chat. He said, why Uncle Ruckus is even here? Well, Uncle Ruckus is pissed off because he wants the blacks to continue to grift. Uncle Ruckus cannot take it. But he's, since he's here, he gonna listen to this. They lie and say, oh, the black immigrants are the problem. No, you see an African, though they say the African immigrant. Isn't this an African immigrant who's almost a trillionaire now? Now he is in the government. He's about to cut, employees, these DEI employees, he's about to reduce them. Racism, wokeism, that stuff is going in the dustbin. You better learn how to swing a hammer or learn how to weld, because reality is back. If you want to make money, it's not going to happen in that basket weaving. If you cannot swing that hammer, if you cannot weld, or come up with new products, you can kiss the economy goodbye. Let's get the likes up.
Rebuttals and the community notes.
I think that's fair, but I do think that on this particular topic, I do think that you and Ben Shapiro are reaching in about this, because there was what Ben posted said that he gave instances of people who were deliberately harming people. Nowhere in the thread does Ben suggest at all, I should say, that anyone is being killed as a result of DEI. That's purely speculative. There's research on DEI and medicine, and there's no evidence that standards are being lowered, that DEI is affecting medicine. Actually, only 5% of doctors are black, and a small percent.
I think you'll find that.
So you would notice the blacks like to say they are smart. When you say DEI, they said it's not about blackness. Don Lemon just introduced skin color in association to blacks. Here we go.
When this is posted to the X platform, that people will reply to it with evidence.
Okay.
Maybe I'm wrong. Let's see.
Okay. So, but that's my whole thing about moderation. Maybe you're wrong, but you'll put it out there. You don't know if it's right. Do you think that your responsibility to make sure something is right before you, the person who owns it, Elon Musk, who's a huge figure in the world, that you should know that it's true, that there are people at X who can get research for you before you put something out there like that? That's not necessarily true, even in other examples.
If I say something that is inaccurate, I'm immediately corrected on the platform. That's the advantage of a real-time system like X. So there will be immediately in the replies people correcting me. There will be a community note that will correct me, which is attached to the actual post itself.
Do you think as many people read
Yes.
You think as many people read that as it reads your tweet?
Yes, in fact, and if there's a community note that happens later where somebody didn't see, but they replied to that or interacted with that post, we will notify them that there is now a community note correcting that post.
Mm-hmm. Just so you.
Whereas if you consider the conventional media, that doesn't happen. Conventional media makes false statements all the time and nobody ever hears the correction.
When I was in conventional media, I can only speak for myself. If I got something wrong, if someone got something wrong on the platform that I was on, it was corrected, and we made sure that it was corrected. Now, I can't speak for anyone else.
I don't think that's a universal situation.
Okay. So I just want the research. So when you talk, do you believe that people are dying because medical standards, DEI is causing medical standards to be lowered? Do you actually believe people are dying because of that?
I believe that if we lower the standards for what it takes to become a doctor.
You're saying if we lower the standards,
Yes.
but do you believe people are dying because the standards are being lowered?
I don't
Or have
think
been
that
lowered?
is yet an issue, but it could become an issue.
Okay. But the actual evidence in history shows the exact opposite. If you look at how minorities are treated by the medical system, most doctors now are white. And there are lots of mistakes in medicine. So you're saying that white doctors are...
So again, he's doing it about race. About race. You know, like things like being a doctor. I mean, if you like Dr. Ben Carson, no one is questioning his capabilities because he's black. So when it comes to life and death situation, people become smart. Like, who cares if your doctor is black, white, or blue? Is this doctor capable? So Don Lemon made it about race. And those of you Africans watching, this don't apply to you. This is the blacks' religion. They are convincing them to buy into this. Only the blacks would buy into this idea that, oh yeah, it's about, they would allow the person, DEI, to be in charge just because they are black, because it's all about emotion. Don Lemon is confused. He's not only confused about race, he is confused about his sexuality as well. But here we go.
Have bad medical care? I'm trying to understand your logic here when it comes to DEI, because there's no actual evidence of what you're saying.
No, I said, so if the standards, like let's say, I think that particular thing was referring to surgeons. Let's say a surgeon is asked to, a surgeon in training is asked to do a series of operations under the supervision of a senior surgeon, and they get a bunch of those operations wrong. If that happens, and yet they are still approved to be a surgeon, the probability that someone will die, I think, at some point is high.
Okay, I understand that, but that's a hypothetical. That doesn't mean it's happening.
I didn't say it's happening.
You didn't say it was happening.
I said it will. I said if we lower standards, people will die.
But why respond to some?
So this is how race hustlers operate. You've even seen this argument from the black women that argue so much. The ones that are woke, right? They would put words in your, like, whatever is in their mind, they will bring it up and make it seem like you said that. So Elon is saying, they are speaking about an article. If they use, this DEI standard to lower the standard so people can become doctors based in gender or race, yes, people can lose their lives, can't lose their lives. But what Don Lemon is trying to do, just like they do in mainstream, is to switch it to make it seem like what, he's saying, oh, people are dying, like this is happening. Then you'll be like, oh, wait a minute. Elon, you're saying people are dying from the DEI. No, he's saying if they implement it, that's what will happen. And that's facts. If you're smart enough, for example, if I believe I have the intelligence to be a surgeon, like, I wouldn't want them to lower the standard for me, because it's me. It's either I can pass it or not. If I can't pass it, great, I can move on to something else. I will not be hell-bent on saying, oh, lower the standard for me so I can pass. That makes no sense. But Don Lemon is arguing for that, but at the same time, he's saying that's not a bad thing. So they use shaming tactics as usual. If you notice, even you as an African, they use that against you. Like, these people are hustlers. They are race hustlers. It's a fact. They want to guilt you into giving your power to them. I mean, look at it. Don Lemon came to Elon to look for job, but he feels entitled. That's the black thing. He didn't build anything, even though they said they are foundation to this country. What did he build? Elon had to come from South Africa to build something to where he is sitting in front of him to try to look for jobs. But at the same time, he wants to promote, wokeism on the man. That's why he didn't even consider, employing him. Empty talk did not build America, and it never will. Here we go.
Something, or put something out there that has not happened, because I could say,
Because I don't want it to happen. I think we don't want to lower standards.
Okay, if you look at the history of the medical industry, especially when it comes to Black Americans, it shows the exact opposite. If you look at the Tuskegee experiment and on, only 5% of doctors in America are Black. All of them are white. So are you saying that if the majority of doctors are white, are you saying that?
Because majority of America is white. That's another argument. So it's like they, use the minority, right? So think about it. If some Black person, they've already established that these people cannot be doctor because they are Black. They've had this in their mind. It has nothing to do with because you don't have what it takes to be a doctor, or you're not willing to put in what it takes to be a doctor. I believe that if you put your mind to it, you can do anything. But maybe that's just not your lane. So you're telling barely 13% of the population that they should have a lot more number or equal to almost 70% of the population. Is delusional. It is delusional. It makes no sense. So it's like they're making the Blacks think that they are more important than anybody else, when that's not true. So here we go.
And there are still these inequities, right? And there's still mistakes. Are you blaming DEI for that?
No, I'm very basically saying that if we lower standards for what it takes to become a board-certified surgeon or an oncologist or something where the kind of disease we're talking about, if you make a mistake, causes someone to die, then more people will die than if we don't lower the standards. Therefore, we should not lower the standards.
But why do you think they're lowering the standards for minority doctors or women doctors? Or
so Don Lemon knows exactly what they're not lowering the standards for white people. Who are they lowering it for? So the man is simply saying it doesn't matter who it is. I mean, if you're a Black woman and you have the intelligence to be a doctor, hey, by all means, go be a doctor. So you see what he's doing? There are Black women or Black men who have the intelligence to be a doctor. But not all Black people can be doctors. So to make this argument that, oh, it's only 5% Blacks, maybe, those are the people who are interested and those are the smart people. So he's trying to imply that, oh, the Blacks are smart, but because of their Blackness, it's stopping them from being doctors. I mean, being a doctor, calling yourself a doctor because you're in the studio, that doesn't make you a doctor. That just makes you the doctor of the studio there. Like, would you want Dr. Dre to do surgery on you just because he called himself a doctor? Would you want Dr. Dre to do surgery on you? I mean, if these Blacks believe that it is Blacks who are smart to do surgery, do you see them flying to Nairobi for surgery to go look for doctors? I highly doubt it. So who are the Blacks fooling? I mean, if you want good ugali, you can fly to Nairobi, but they're not flying there for a doctor. That's for sure. So certain groups or certain people are good at certain things, and you just gotta acknowledge it. The Chinese are good at creating restaurants. You can't take that from them. So here we go.
That's what that's what that article suggested. Yes, at Duke University.
Okay. The evidence that I have shows that that's not true. So listen, after the door blew off this mid-flight, this Alaskan Airlines flight, do you remember that? You responded to a post claiming that the average HBCU grad was less intelligent than the average airline pilot, and stated that it will take an airplane crashing and killing hundreds of people for them to change this crazy policy of DIE. I don't know if did you misspell it on purpose, which it should be DEI. Do you believe that women and minority pilots are inherently less intelligent and less skilled than white male pilots?
No, I'm just saying that we should not lower the standards for them.
Okay. But there's no evidence that standards are being lowered when it comes to...
Okay, if there's no evidence of it, then why is there DEI? Don Lemon is not smart. He is trying to outsmart Elon, but he does not have the brain capacity. Okay, if there is no need for DEI, why create DEI? You know, why make it seem like everyone can be anything they want and have the same outcome, but others are not doing it because they can't do it because of their skin color? Not true. The link is in the chat. Feel free to call in, but we will get into, Elon Musk bringing the facts and truth to the blacks. So you would soon, notice, like, you're not going to be hearing about that reparation talk. What, you're going to send it to Dodge Department, the Department of Governmental Efficiency that is run by Ramaswamy and our greatest African American, Elon Musk? Not going to happen. It's not going to happen. So you blacks better learn how to, swing the hammer or use welding tools properly. Jobs are coming. Get to work. We know you cannot invent rockets, and that's fine. I can't invent no rockets, and I'm okay with that. There are some things I can do, but inventing rockets is not one of them. Or doing surgeries on people, that's not one of my strongest suit. Hell, I'll probably fail the exams. Maybe I won't even focus to read enough to do it. Okay? Does that mean, I'm just dumb or useless? No. There are other things that I'm good at. And guess what? I'm going to focus on that so I can, bring those services to other people. But the blacks, you sitting over there getting all jealous, talking about, oh, look at Elon. Why he got to be in the government? Because guess what? You don't run anything here. You do not run anything. The only reason you even have your position is because they lowered the standard. You are in your little government job because of, affirmative action. Let's just call a spade a spade. Guys, get the likes up. Do the super chat. And you look at it. Tariq is trying to protect his hustle. He's letting the blacks know, man, look at Elon Musk. Elon Musk is saying the things he's saying. Everyone was slaves. Yeah. Would you have preferred for your ancestors to continue to stay in that Oyo state over there in Nigeria so they can sacrifice them when the king dies? Because sometimes they were sacrificing 4,000 of them. Oh, the Benin state. Would you have loved your ancestors to be one of the people sacrificed? Or be working in the gold mines of Congo? Or working in the coltan mines? Is that what you prefer? So be thankful to the white man. Let us continue.
The airline industry.
You've repeatedly said that there's no evidence that standards are being lowered, and watch the replies showing all the evidence that it is.
Replies, though, on social media or on Twitter are not necessarily fact and evidence.
No,
That's people's
they will
opinion.
cite
Okay.
In the replies to this, you will see how often the information is cited, showing that indeed there are significant cases where standards are lowered.
And I do hope that happens. I do hope that happens, and I look forward to it. And as you said, if you're wrong, then you're wrong, and if I'm wrong, then I'm wrong.
Yes.
Okay. So and I'm glad we're having this conversation, debating. This is what we should be doing, debating the issue. So if I'm wrong, then I'm wrong, and then I'll be proven in the thing, and you as well. But I just want to tell you that pilot that you talked about, in fact, was a woman pilot, landed the plane safely despite the major malfunction with the equipment. Boeing has taken responsibility for that incident, saying that it was caused by a faulty door panel. So I'm not sure what that had to do with lowering the standards for pilots when it was a faulty.
So you look at it. The man is saying, look, if you're capable, they don't need to lower the standard. So Don Lemon is fighting so hard to justify DEI. So I'm glad Elon Musk didn't move his position. Let's hear more. Kidol, I see you back there. Just hang tight. All right.
Lowering standards for pilots. It's the incentive structure. I believe at Boeing changed to include DEI as a fundamental executive incentive. But in my view, it should be purely about passenger safety.
Okay, but do you understand how by saying just that standards are being lowered, that you're implying that they're being lowered because people are less skilled and less intelligent, and you're talking about people of color and or women?
Look, I'm saying we should not lower standards.
But you don't.
That's it.
So that's how you kill that conversation. The man says, yeah, we don't need to lower standard. Why you keep trying to push that? You talking about all the different groups. You mentioned women. You know why he mentioned women? Because those women are sitting there. They're talking about, they made that fake movie talking about, the black women, they helped. They were mathematicians. There was these black women. They did this movie, literally. They were mathematicians in this space program. I mean, come on. Do you guys really believe that happened? So it's like the blacks are always, these black women, they are always just great in history, the history that we can prove. But here in real life, we're seeing them, they're doing anything other than being mathematicians. Yeah, the math they're doing is how to run over a Negro, how to get weave, how to, take baby daddies to child support. And like you look at Vivica Fox, for example, she's a perfect example. 60-year-old negress, all expired, talking about, I'm looking, for good men. They can even be white, rich white people. All I can say to Vivica Fox and Lisa Ray, right now they're 60. They think they're fine. They're not gonna shine here in America. They are Ghana and Gambia ready. That's facts. The bumpsters are there. Long stroke Kwame, long stroke Lamin. They're on the beach doing their push-ups, working out. I mean, that's the only place left. Maybe they don't know your history. That's all. I mean, I was just doing a public, announcement, service announcement. I hope some of you don't get upset, but here we go.
I think everyone can agree that you shouldn't lower standards.
Great. That's
But you're implying that they're lowering standards because of people of color or women because someone is not a white male. You're saying that they're less skilled and less intelligent. That's what
No,
you're
I'm
saying.
not saying that. I'm simply saying that they are.
Then why would they be lowering the standards?
I don't know. Why are they lowering the standards?
Just so you know, 5%.
So Don Lemon is telling us, he's trying to say, oh, why are they lowering the standards? Okay, you DEI people are the ones asking for this. So if you believe black people have the brain power to challenge white people, why are you asking for the standards to be lowered? So you see what he did there? He's trying to flip it to make it seem like Elon is the one coming with the idea. No. The man is saying, just let the standard be. Why lower it? Don't lower it for the person, girl, because they're a woman or man, or because they're a midget. Who cares? Can they pass? It's all about merit. Hey, look, you can be as black as the ace of spade. If you got what it takes to be a doctor, hey, by all means, go take the exams. They don't need to lower it for you because you're black or you gay or you from the hood. That's not what it's about. They don't do that in football, for example. Have you ever did you see in the past, like, let's say a good running back like Marshawn Lynch? You think some white guy, his feelings can be hurt and be like, man, there isn't too many, white guys who are running backs. Make me a running back. The blacks would laugh. It's the same thing. The whites are they are the quarterbacks and the running backs in this healthcare business. They are at the top of the game. Dr. Ben Carson, he is one of the MVPs and he black. But the blacks, they don't like him because he is not woke. They're talking about black women. These are mathematicians. They helped astronauts. Are you kidding me? Black women as mathematicians. Look, I get it. Look, okay, most of you watching me, we all black. But look, let's not lie to each other just to kick it. I love you. You don't need to come up here talking about black women are mathematicians to a point they can help astronauts. I know you want to feel good about yourself, but you ain't no damn mathematicians. That we know. Even the village people know this. That's a fact. There's no way you can decipher those codes. Let's just be real. So let's not play. Here we go.
Pilots are female, 4% are black. So you're talking about this widespread takeover of minorities and women when that's not actually true.
I'm not saying there's a widespread takeover.
Well, you're saying that the standards are being lowered because of certain people. You don't.
This is what they do in the media. These wokesters, they lie. He just lied on Elon. Do you guys understand how stupid Don Lemon even is? I think there was like, what, 5 million on the table for him to be able to do open-minded interview because Elon was going to hire him to be one of the media people on X, which I believe he was probably doing it for experiment to expose how brain dead these people are. So you're meeting your employer. So what your employer is looking for, you're doing the opposite of that. So he is clearly, Don Lemon is just sitting, Elon is looking at him like, you're the biggest idiot I've ever met. I clearly write about woke stuff, the stupid stuff, and you're coming here promoting that. It's dumb. So let's hear more from Don Lemon. And by the way, this is the attitude of most of the black wokesters. This is why they are failing. Their era is coming to an end, just so you guys know. But here we go.
believe in DEI, right? Do you not believe in diversity, equity, and inclusion?
I think we should be treat people according to their skills and their integrity, and that's it.
Do you know that studies show?
Studies show.
Yeah, well, we can look them up. So your reaction to studies show, and I understand, right? Because
Yeah, it's always some studies. So Elon Musk, he runs his X, he's got his own company. So you're going to tell me some Joe Blow, some quote unquote expert knows this more than the guy that created it. You see, so they always hit you with that. Oh, studies show. Okay, let's see what the studies show. If the studies is honest, it would show that the Negroes did not create anything of significance. That's a fact. But here we go.
I always like to point to an exact study, right?
Sure.
Something that is factual. It's the same thing when you talk about, well, let's see what the replies are on Twitter or on X.
Yeah, so
I feel the same. I feel the same way about that. But this is what studies have shown, and people will reply and they'll say that companies with more diversity in their leadership teams have reported higher innovation, race, and
look. Those of you that are in Africa, if you're a parent, an African parent, because I've seen on Facebook even, unfortunately, some of the Gambians promoting, celebrating, talking about their children. They send them to HBCU, Howard, and stuff. Stop sending Africans. If you want the future, if you want a brighter future for your children, stop sending them to these quote-unquote HBCUs, these woke black schools where they lower the standards. Don't do it. You're wasting money. You're seeing the results. You're seeing how they are coming out. Look at Elon, how much he is doing. Vivek and others. This do not, like, when I saw some of these Gambians, Americans, they've bought into the woke mess. They celebrate their sons or daughters. They are sending them to these quote-unquote HBCUs. If you're watching, I know you didn't know better. Maybe you were watching MSNBC. You are destroying the life of your children. Do not send them to these woke HBCU schools. They have nothing to offer. Do you want your child to end up like Don Lemon, Roland Martin, Al Sharpton, Tariq Nasheed, Phil Scott? I can name them. Kamala Harris. I can name a whole bunch of them. That's what they're gonna, or Rachel Dolezal. You're gonna have your daughter. You're from Gambia. Both you and your husband. Your child is born here. Pretty soon that child would say, oh, I'm FBA. Or they're gonna be like, oh, I'm Yoruba. They're gonna, because they lie like that. If they learn history about, let's say, Yoruba being cool, they're no longer gonna be you. They're not gonna be Gambian. If they watch Afridamus report, they're gonna be like, oh, Afridamus is telling the truth. We no longer want to be Gambian. We want to be Yoruba. So you don't want that. Here we go.
those with lower diversity or low diversity, and they're better companies and they make more money. This whole idea about DEI, if you go woke or whatever, you go broke, that's not necessarily true. People with diverse leadership teams and diverse workers make more money and more innovative.
Guys, did you see the look on Elon's face? Elon is like, are you kidding me? Is this guy out of his mind? But here we go.
Like I said, my view is that the only basis for promoting somebody should be their skills, talents, and their integrity, and that's it.
I want to ask you about there's a federal government.
Well, Kidola, you are right there. I would allow you to jump in as I keep going. Kidola, what do you make of this interview so far? You saw Morgan Freeman. He's saying, "Hey, you guys just want to keep pushing, racism." Now, Elon, they formed the Doge. They are like, "Hey, we don't believe in this." So the era of this racism reparation is coming to an end. Kidola, what do you make of this conversation?
You see, the FBA group always focus on deporting the Africans, right? Deport the Africans.
Right.
Deport the Africans, right? The Indians are slowly creeping in, become the officers with the whip of United States.
But Kidola, are you surprised to see? Because Elon is from South Africa. Ramaswamy, his parents are from India. These are billionaires. They just recently came to America, and the blacks are saying they have foundation to here. How is immigrants coming here? Not only are they becoming multi-billionaires, they are now going to be controlling the government and deciding to the blacks. So where is the invention of the blacks, Kidola? Are you convinced that the blacks are hard workers? Because the blacks, you see Don Lemon begging for the standards to be lowered. Kidola, are you seeing that the blacks are even as smart as they like us to believe?
With listening to Dilemma, I'm kind of a little bit disappointed because the blacks said they discover traffic light, they discover electricity,
and you notice Dan Lemon is sitting in front of a real inventor. How come he's not telling Elon we invent? Are you surprised?
We invent the rocket science, right?
Yes. Are you surprised that this is only from people like Tariq and the others? How come why Don Lemon is not saying they invented any of that?
Yeah, because I was surprised. It was asked to lower the standard. I'm like, huh? You talking to a guy who just came from South Africa. The parents are still living in South Africa.
Right.
You understand me? He's a billionaire. He discovered rocket, discovered a lot of things, said that made money out of it. The Indian man discovered medicine, doing a lot. I said, but if your ancestors really did these things, so I have to ask, who actually discovered electricity? I have to go and Google it and look for it, and the traffic light.
Definitely not the blacks. The traffic light was already in England. Look, these are European. Kidola, why would an African invent, traffic light? Kidola, think about it. Like, do we even have a need for it? Look, you have to have a need for something. The white man invented wheels to drive. So they need to regulate it. So there is a need to invent it. And us Africans not inventing it doesn't mean we are less than. It's just we didn't have a need for it. That's all. But now we do, because now we have cars, and we didn't invent cars.
Yeah, there's no shame about it.
Thank you.
You want to boost yourself to the Africans. We invent this, we invent that. We understand. Look, as you said, they are Irish and Scottish blacks.
Yeah.
Their jobs actually, United States they were picking cottons.
Exactly.
They were like in the rural areas, walking there, Before they came to the city was already built. Look, New York looked like Amsterdam. Because the ancestors of those people,
because they came from that place.
They came from that place. It's not a shame that your ancestors built mud houses in Africa, stone houses in Africa.
Well,
it's different.
Kidola, let me give you an example. Kidola, you've seen video of my farm, right? You see how big the land is, right?
Yeah.
But under normal circumstance, the African village dynamic. Somebody like me, by myself, in the village sense, village sense, would I have been able to own a land like that by myself?
No.
Or build it like that?
No.
Exactly, because like things have changed. It doesn't mean I'm better than those people, but
you build a stable like a personal. People want to live. Your stables are more like a 5 bedrooms, bungalow mansions.
right.
That's what you build there.
Yeah. So if you look at it, I'm not building like in the village back. My ancestors where they have huts and stuff.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
that's what they needed back in those days.
Yeah.
So
they build according to what they needed there.
if they're not thinking what I'm thinking now, that's a good thing, because your people, even your parents, they want you to be better than them.
Oh yes, because there's no shame about it. What is his name again? Audrey's ancestors, which is father from the Yoruba side, were eating ambala. Huh? They were the Audrey was eating ambala. Beating our drums. Then joined the Alafia Empire to go and be fighting the Ghanaians. You know what I mean? So there's no shame about your ancestors were using sword, but you see. The truth of the matter is, when Doloma sit with this bill and this guy, you start seeing the differences of the black Americans and actually with the white Americans. You see, they're not like woke. That white guy is not prepared to listen to wokeness. You know what I mean? He was just pure. Give me the fact, give me the game. Let's go on with the truth. Because that's the way you can achieve whatever you want to achieve.
And you know what? The conversation is about to get super interesting. Wait till we get to the slavery part.
Let's listen. I'm enjoying the show.
Yes, let's Sultan, I will get to you in a second. Just hang tight. Let's hear. Oh, you were gonna add something, Sultan, before we continue? Sultan, are you there? Well,
yeah, is my mic working?
Yes, now I can hear you. Sultan, just hang.
I'll just.
Do you want to hang tight, or you want to add something?
Yeah,
okay.
Go on.
Okay, we'll proceed here.
Government EEOC they are also currently involved in a lawsuit against Tesla that alleges that there is a history of widespread racial harassment against black Tesla employees, as well as a pattern of retaliation for speaking out. What do you say to that?
I don't believe that is true. I think we've got a very good. Like if you walk around the Tesla Fremont plant, I think it's a very good atmosphere. In fact, I practically lived there for 3 years, trying to make the production work.
Were you aware, if you lived there, were you aware of such behavior?
I never saw it.
So, you see what Don Lemon did there? So the blacks, they claim that they invent things. They are the backbone of America, But this man came from Africa, created his company, employed blacks, but now he's being accused. It's like, oh yeah, the blacks are being, discriminated against. Why are the blacks perpetual victims? Are blacks the only people in America? Are they like this, weak, where even people can come, create companies, employ them, and then discriminate against them? So you ask the man, he said he lived there. He didn't see that. He's got 20,000 people there. How can he see everything? Why are these blacks that weak? Why is it always about blacks? They are only 13% of the population. You've got Africans and other immigrants. They're not crying about this. Why is it about the blacks? It makes no sense. So here we go.
So you're saying that this is not true, it's not happening?
Well, I mean, there's over 20,000 people. So you say, like, if there's over 20,000 people in one building, well, is everyone going to behave perfectly? No. Did I see any situations that I thought were improper? I did not.
Let's talk about trans rights and the woke mind virus, because you've talked about that a lot. You're right about that a lot on the thing. You have been deeply outspoken about the issue of trans rights. You posted trans rights. You posted that pronouns and bio mean the woke mind virus.
So now they're going into the wokeness. So you notice Imagine they tie your blackness to transgenderism. And like you would see a black woman, they would argue this to you. Oh yeah, I mean, if Tyrone says, now his name is Taisha, that makes sense. And they even love him more. They raise these black boys to be toxic to even them, and then they turn around and hate them. The only way they love them is if they choose and say they are females or they are gay. Do you see how crazy that is?
Can I 100% agree with you, Alfred Amos. Can I chime in? I just want to
Yes,
highlight
yes,
one thing
yeah,
from
you
my
can chime in
previous
real
interview.
quick. Yeah.
I'm very active on X, Twitter, formerly Twitter. So
Yeah.
I'm familiar with the interview. I
Wait,
think his name was
do you think
Lennon, right?
I should start doing lives on that Twitter
What?
too? I have I
Yeah,
have a
no, no,
I have I have
Alfred Amos,
I
I
have
follow you on
pages.
Twitter. I follow you on Twitter,
Oh,
and
you
also
follow
I
me
have a
there?
big, yeah, I have like 17,000 on TikTok.
Okay.
I'll send you my info. We should go live frequently if you don't mind.
Okay. You can send it in the chat.
You'll pull more viewers there too. Trust me. But you've been doing good. But the thing that I wanted to say about the interviewer is that the victimhood is actually beyond our comprehension. This guy, first of all, happened. He's the most privileged human being on the planet. Okay, let's say that first. Secondly, he's part of the rainbow community, so that give him additional privilege. Thirdly, he's a liberal, so most liberals get a full full what they call full green light from the mainstream media. So the mainstream media is super friendly to the liberals, to the community, the rainbow community, and etc. and etc. and etc. Okay,
But do you even believe he's trying to present the blacks as these smart
victimize
mathematicians?
people.
Let's be honest. And also victims at the same time. Are the blacks even that smart?
Yeah, but he, in a
I'm not
way,
talking about dancing
yeah,
or
yeah.
singing,
No,
math,
no.
inventing rockets. Let's be honest, like there's only few blacks who can do this.
Indeed, I agree with you, Alfred Amos. But let's keep one thing in mind. Whenever he's arguing against or trying to push a certain narrative against Elon, what he's doing is that in a way he's pushing the DEI narrative, okay,
Oh, I
diversity,
know.
inclusion,
And
whatever, right?
Sultan,
And
are you even surprised? He
no, no,
had
no.
to
I
take
know, I know this guy.
a white man with the blessing of the African continent to come and make America more great. Are you shocked by this, like a recent African immigrant making the blacks great?
Yeah, but it's still the black interviewer will still have a problem with that because skin wise, Elon Musk is not, to him, is not black,
Well,
right?
the blacks have white blood too. They can get,
Yeah,
even though they like to say grape, they got the grapers blood in them. They can't run away from that if that's how they describe it.
100%. Let's also remember one thing, for Damas, before we proceed. Elon happened to be in the, I mean, in the, what they call, in the surrounding of Trump, right? So
Yeah.
Trump nominated him in certain key position in his new cabinet. So, and the interviewer represent the liberal, the left wing. Okay, so that's why there's that tension. So keep that in
Yes.
mind too whenever you're trying to watch this guy, because it will give you a broader understanding and broader context. So like naturally they're rivals. So that's why he's kind of loaded.
Man, these people are the strongest victims I've ever seen. But let's continue here.
Ate your brain. Do you know what the term woke actually means?
It's come to mean a lot of things.
But what originally it was meant to mean, it's just being aware of inequities in society and being aware of facts and history.
Yeah, I think it's come to be. I think being aware of inequities in society is fine, of course, but trying to blame everything on trying to make everything a race issue is, I think, divisive and corrosive to society.
Even as it relates to trans issues, which is what I'm.
Yeah, race or gender or whatever.
You think
Bungo. He's like, hey, making everything about race or gender.
What
is
did I tell you?
detrimental to society. Let's hear. Wait till you hear this part. This is what is going to destroy the blacks.
Blaming, you think that society blames everything on racism now?
It blames a lot of things on it, and yeah.
You think that's unfair?
Yeah.
Why?
I think we should not make this a constant subject. I think we need to move on. I think we just treat people like people.
You don't agree that this country was founded on racism and founded on slavery and in many ways
America was not founded on racism. America, they needed workers in their plantations, and the Africans were selling workers. They didn't have machines back then, and they bought them and brought them. It wasn't based in race. Those were the workers available. So you see how Don Lemon wants to resort. They want to make themselves
100%.
feel like super important, as if they are the only slaves that ever existed. Do you know the FBA? They go against the Jamaicans. They go against the Haitians. They go against the Dominicans and call them
I
tethers,
argue.
right?
Sorry to
But
cut you
guess
off.
what? The
Okay.
Jamaicans, you know how Jamaicans, those African, those blacks got there? They got there as slaves. You know how
They
the
think
people
they're the
in
only
Haiti got
victim.
to
That's the
Haiti?
thing, Africa.
Those were Africans who were slaves. So how, or Brazil, Honduras. So how come those people do not have the right to speak about their enslaved ancestors? It's only the domesticated Black American,
There's a
as
word
if they
for
were
that.
the only ones that were enslaved. But let's hear this real.
Afrodamus, that's a word for that, brother. It's called exclusive victimhood. Okay, there.
Right.
Although there's almost 60 plus 60 plus million Africans, West African that got enslaved in South America, primarily in Brazil, they tend to turn a blind eye to that. Same in the Caribbeans, right? They tend to turn a blind eye to that. And also, I go to the FBA
But
spots.
the Caribbeans,
Yeah,
if you
Caribbeans
look
too.
at even honestly here in my part of America here, a lot of restaurants they would even call FBA. It's not FBA. It is Jamaican restaurant. These are Jamaican or Barbados or like islanders. These people's ancestors were slaves from Africa. How come the slavery
100%.
don't affect them the same? In fact, these people moved from an island to come here despite their slave background, and they they're savvy businessmen. A lot of the representation that you see, these are Caribbeans. How come slavery is not affecting them the same way? But let's hear this part real quick.
Please.
Is my microphone working?
That still continue on to this.
I think every country at that time, and I think even today, was extremely racist. Every country, and obviously slavery was present in about half of this country, and was not present in the north. There was racism for sure, but I think we want to look to the future rather than the past, and instead of engaging in constant rehashing of the past, because in fact, if you look at history, if you study history broadly, everyone was a slave. Everyone.
Yes. Well, not everyone was a slave.
No,
but
everyone was a slave.
Okay, but
we are all descended from slaves.
Yeah.
Well, all of us.
Yeah.
This is facts. Everyone descended from slaves. So you see, now the blacks, they're not gonna want to hear this because they don't want to lose the narrative of the slave status. They want to be considered exclusively as the only people who were ever enslaved. So this narrative here destroys their idea. Slavery have been mentioned in every good book, even like the Bible, the Quran, the Torah. We see this for thousands of years. Now, all of a sudden, the blacks want to make it seem like they monopolize being slaves. There are slaves There are slaves today. There are people who have been sold as slaves today. How can you say, okay, your ancestors came from slaves, but there is real, actual slave, literal slaves? You are not no slave. How how do you even fix your mouth to make such an argument when you've never experienced any of this? Elon is correct. Let's hear more from Elon, and I would allow the panel to continue.
But just a question of when. Was it more recent or less recent? That's it.
Right.
So but what future do we want? Is this something we want to make a part of our constant dialogue forever, or do we want to say, like, let's just move on and treat everyone, you know, according to just who they are as an individual?
I agree with you with that. That's the ideal. But what the evidence shows is that that's not what's actually in practice.
I think we're doing better than anywhere else.
That's true.
And this is true. America is the greatest country on this side of heaven. I live here and I've been living here for years. I've been, like, I went to Turkey, Morocco. You're going through those places, you know, different places in the world, even in Africa. You are much safer as a black person in America than anywhere in the world. So this racism talk makes no sense. So let me bring in the panel. Let's discuss what he just said. He said, hey, everyone was one slave. It depends on what era of time. Is the blacks, are they the only ones who were enslaved? Why do they think that, they have the moral high ground to be the only one talking about slavery instead of moving on? And then on top of that, they want to be paid for what their ancestors went through. Why is that?
Perfectly said. Perfectly said. Before we can move on, Afrodamus, let's touch on a little bit history, okay? The word slave derived or originated from the word called Slav, right? So the Slavic people or of northeastern Europe, right, were enslaved by the Nordic, specifically the Vikings, the Finnish, the Swedes, like in medieval times, right? So when John Lennon, I think that's his name, that's what his name is, the black interviewer, when he's saying when Elon said, oh, not only black, what all everyone got enslaved, and then the black interviewer disagreed with it. He's basically applying and saying what they call, it's only black people that suffered from the slavery, right? It's only black people that went through the unjust what they call treatment.
And in fact, it's not true. When in
It's not
fact,
true.
there was
Not true at all.
businessmen on the coast who this was their business. They sell gold, ivory, and occasionally they have slaves to sell. This was normal. This happened in ancient Egypt too.
Yeah,
Despite,
but
like, the blacks like to say ancient Egypt. People sold people. The white people had slavery. Okay? In
100%.
America, they had Irish slaves.
Yeah,
They
but
did all this. So
but
so so
go ahead.
why are the blacks, just because they, like, and there were black slave owners, by the way. By the
Indeed,
way, there
indeed.
was black slave owners. So why are the blacks trying to act like their slavery is more important than the people in the Caribbean? Do you understand? In the Caribbean, for example, their slavery was way more brutal because they worked them to death and replaced them. The American slave was pampered. They were given sardines, they were given pancakes, peanut butter, spaghetti. I mean, I read this. So, what are they talking about?
100%, because there was a lot of resources to go around Afrodamus
Thank you.
back in those days, and also by the black wokeism and the black victimhood, by them actually regurgitating all these talking points, they they want to get benefit from it, basically, by keep bringing up all the past, and which they didn't suffer from it, because this is the new generation. The white man of this modern time did not had nothing to do with what happened uh, a couple hundred years ago. Same with the black person that's living right now wasn't a victim of what happened in the past, right? And also, let's remember one thing, okay? Let's remember one thing. 60 to 70% of the
You
slave.
know what?
Go
You know
on.
what? Let me show you how good the blacks have it. See, the Jamaicans, for example, these were true revolutionaries. They fought for their freedom, just like the Haitians, the other islands. They had they stood up to their enslavers. But you don't see them crying. And still today, you see it in their spirit. They're not even using the white man's weapon. They use the weapon that they used in the plantation. Let me show you, even today, how Jamaican hoods look like. Let us look at Jamaican hood. If these people have time to cry white racism, brace yourself. This is fair use. Let's go.
Hey, boy. Hey, boy. Hey, look. Hey, boy, me chop off you. Hey, boy, me kill you, you know. Hey, boy, don't let me, you know. Hey, boy, me chop up your blood clot, you know. Hey, boy, me say me chop up your blood clot. Chop on, boy. I want to you to be. Chop off. If you chop me, hey, go on, way up. Chop me, I'm stab you, man. Chop me, I'm stab you, man. Way up, go. Chop it down, chop it, chop your mother. My yo, chop me, I'm stab you, man. Chop me, I'm teach you chop me, make a stab you, go up here. Let us go. Let's go around the look thing. Hey, boy, kill that man, people. Kill it. Chop me, chop out.
Anyways, I'm just letting you know. Listen, look at it. The blacks ain't got it like this. You see the Jamaican, one brought a toothpick and the other one had a long cutlass. Okay, so what does that tell you? Okay, so the blacks have it really good. Anyways, let me bring in the panel. What do you guys want to say?
I've been talking a lot. Let the other brother speak. I'll chime in afterwards.
Is my microphone working?
Let's be honest. Yeah, we can hear you. Are you Uncle Ruckus in the chat?
No, I'm the harsh truth.
Can you speak up, a little bit?
Can you hear me better now? Or is it still playing up?
Can you hear me? Much better. Where are you calling from?
I'm calling from the UK, but I'm Nigerian.
All right. So what do you see? What do you make of this? Like, do you think FBA have a future in pushing this victimhood, slave narratives? Now we have Dodge, Elon Musk, and Vivek. They are running this. So clearly you can see that America is a nation of immigrants. The multi-billionaires are immigrants. So FBA, the slave narrative is not working. From this interview, you can clearly see it. What do you make of this? What should FBA? Do you think they should get back with reality? Speak in the mic.
Yes, they need to get back with reality. Back in the day, I used to feel sorry.
Can you speak into the mic?
Okay. Is this better?
Yes.
Hello?
Yeah.
Is this better, yeah? Anyway,
Yeah.
yes, back in the day, I used to feel sorry for them, and I used to stick up for them. But over the years, well, before they started calling themselves FBA, but then all this anti-African hatred started, and I don't feel sorry for them. They sound like crybabies to me. I'm sick of what annoys me about them. If they just cried about slavery and begged the white man for money, that would be all right. But for some reason, they won't leave Africans alone. They're always trying to drag Africans into every single conversation they have, and it's actually quite pathetic.
And then now you finding out they try to say, oh, they're better than the Africans, they're smarter, but you're finding out they are begging, for the standards to be lower. Like if you are in college, they are begging, to be given 10th grade mathematics. How does that sound to you?
It sounds
and they're trying to
sad,
be doctors.
Well, yeah, it sounds sad, especially with they claim to be the greatest, this and that. I mean, they claim to have invented the world. If you go on, like for instance, I went on a channel. I've been there a few times. Someone that you don't like, Scammer Genesis, or
Who?
Crybaby Carla, as I like to call him.
Oh,
He's
oh,
obsessed
oh,
with you.
he's one of the dumb blacks. He got low IQ,
Yeah,
but
you and Nigerians, like literally him
yeah,
and
yeah. I
Dollar
mean, that
Bill.
guy believes he can get like a territory in Africa. He's one of the low IQ
The
ones.
other day, talked about how he's willing to kill the natives there if they don't. He said, "Oh, they might not know about guns if he goes there to take their land, and they try and stop him." And some of the stuff that
Ask
I'm
him
hearing
how
him
did
say,
that
but
work
anyway,
for the how did that work out? When Samuel Doe came around.
Sorry to interrupt, but
yeah,
the people don't know that all of the planet are actually armed with AK-47s. But go on, sorry.
yeah. Anyway, what I was gonna say is he's always talking about, oh, we invented 50,000 inventions, which is a lie. I looked it up, and there are channels like by their massa debunking these fake inventions. And when you look it up, the only things that they had any parts in, all they did was make certain tweaks to
Look, let's be
inventions
honest.
that the
I'll
white
tell
man
you
had
right
already.
now. Let's be honest. The white man knows the blacks, you know, like the back of his hand. Look, Elon is not saying anything that me here, I'm not saying, but because I'm black, right? So they are like, no, you just a sellout. But it's good that my fellow white African who can, invent things. What can the blacks say? What have the
They
blacks
won't.
invented instead of unless besides twerking? Okay.
They never have that conversation for the white man. They only ever talk that talk with
Have
Africans
you noticed
because
they
they
never tell
just
the white
assume
man
it.
what they invented? Have you noticed that?
Yeah, they won't. They can't. And they think the African is the only one that's going to care to listen, so they try and force it down our throats, forcing us to believe them. But then when you give them a bit of pushback and ask them questions, they get really angry. Next thing they know, they'll kick you off the panel. So it's like, well, if you really believe in the things that you're saying, then why do you get so uncomfortable when someone gives you a bit of pushback or asks you for proof of what you're talking about? It's because you know you're lying. And that's all they do. They'll like Scammer Genesis. He'll talk about how he never talks about Africans, but every single show, that's all he. Especially Nigerians, he's got an obsession and a hatred for
Well,
Nigerians.
you should
If
ask him
anyone says,
what is the natural resource that they will offer. I'm not talking. Crack is not natural resources. You see, you see that Joe Biden's son, who's a crackhead, is not. He has to pardon his son, which he's still not gonna escape. Crack is not a natural resource. The original coke itself comes from South America. Africans have natural resources. Okay, so crack is not a natural resource. So therefore, they have to sell, victimhood.
I'm for damage. You actually a comedian, man. Like I swear to God, I swear to cut you guys off, man. I've been joining the FBA spaces on Twitter recently, frequently, and the amount of hostility talking point we've been getting from them towards the actual African people is beyond comprehension, to simply put, right? They call
they
us
need
musty tethers, right? Like that's one of their talking points. That's what, because bro, a couple of days
they
ago
have
I
no
was in
shows unless they're talking about Africans. They
yeah,
literally need
every time
Africans
you challenge their
because no one else.
worldview and their narrative, they call you a musty tether, and they
But
wanna,
you see, it's projection. We are
yeah.
finding out they are the mustiest of all. Look at Elon
And when
Musk
he
just
called
told
me
them,
that, go on,
look,
sorry.
everyone was slave. What do you guys make of this? Like, how can they come back from this? Like now racism is dying. People don't give a damn about the blacks talking about 13 years of slave. We don't care about this. People are talking about merits. What can you do? What
Indeed.
have you invented? People want to know this.
And the only time I got called musty tethered, although I probably smell beautiful, good fragrance, right? Most of my colognes come from
Look,
the
they're
Middle
just
East.
hating.
Yeah, but when I get called that is because I'm challenging their worldview. The way that their society. Like
But how do you even smell the person through the computer?
I don't know. We should ask them, right? But listen, this is what I asked Tarika the other like couple of days ago. I was like, bro, how come the modern African Americans, their role model is Cardi B, right? Sexy Red,
Yeah,
and Lil Nas X.
a Latino woman.
Yeah, and Lil Nas X, right? Not the Cardi B. I didn't mean to say that, but I was like, how come it was your role models are Sexy Red, Lil Nas X, and instead of Malcolm X, MLK, you know, and he was like, oh, you know what? Let's talk about the musty tailors in Africa that barely wear deodorant, and this and that. And I'm like, bro, you just, you can't answer a question with a question. So you're gonna address my point, and then they just drop you right away because they can't face it, right? Their culture literally degraded. It back walked,
Look,
not forward walked.
the truth of the matter, they are like, sometimes you have kids that was heavily spoiled at home. They have all kind of food. They have bread and egg with tomatoes on top. So these children, they drink after they serve this bread and egg with juice in the glass bottle. Then the child again say, "Oh, no, I want spare ribs." With that, roasted potatoes, so this children started getting all these things. So the Black Americans are this kind of children that be spoiled.
And Kidola, hearing Elon Musk just telling Don Lemon, he challenged him and he let him know everyone was once a slave at some point. Do you think, like, how can the blacks relegate from this? Because Elon Musk got a position in the government. Their job is to cut back on all this woke stuff. So do you think the blacks, do you think Tariq Nasheed and his people, this reparation thing is completely dead? Because no one is going to care about racism now.
Is the so-called reparation is dead on arrival. It's dead already. Because see, these new guys in town, this new sheriff in town, these two men, they don't want to hear nothing. See, these people work on. These are hardworking men, right? When they came with fat. Elon Musk's parents still live in South Africa, so these guys are not here to play, and this is what the Black Americans have to fear now, because the newcomers of which is the United States is a immigrant country. The newcomers now, they don't want to hear I was being whipped or anything, because they will tell you where I'm coming from was even from. Look, the Dutch people that came to South Africa, right? They didn't get it easy in their own country where they're coming from. They run away from there to have a better life somewhere else. So it's not like, oh, they just have it, oh, let me move to that place. No. Something chased them away. Elon Musk is right. Slavery took around the world. It's not just only in Africa. Some of these people that came to South Africa, they were getting it hard. Only they just came.
And Kidola, they have it good because some of these people, their ancestors would have been sacrificed when a king died. So they are lucky.
And listen. I would like to add this point to it. The only time,
which is true, because in Africa, if your people labor as slaves, when the kings die, they put you on the ground floor, they put the king in there.
Exactly.
So they were like, okay, go to that place, learn how to do, other things. But the truth of the matter is, everybody's a victim of one thing. But we all put it aside and move on, because that's how life is, But them is like, when they talk about in America, they want to go after the Africans, where the Africans actually have nothing to do with them. Because look, the new guys in town are the Indians. The Indians are creeping in. If you go to Canada, the Indians are there, fully there, established.
Yeah, they overtook Brampton, Vancouver,
the Indians in Canada. The Indians in Canada will be coming straight to United States.
I'm from Canada, by the way.
So these Indians in Canada, sooner or later, they'll be tripping to United States.
But Kidola, are you surprised? Shouldn't the blacks have called in to come and show how smart they are?
No, they're scared. They're scared because every time I listen to their invention, I like confused that they find this. Look. To be honest, about 2 weeks ago, I was like thinking, what did they really invent? Really? Because every time lights, traffic lights, pampers, the road, the tires, they invent cars that the white man is start producing in Detroit and everything. Then I have to start looking like, okay, let me actually look what is really their role. You see, the white man never really lie. Where they took them from and where they are now. You know, I always say that the white man said they took majority of them from West Africa. The DNA you see now prove that. You understand me? Okay, they have Irish inside them and the Scottish inside them. That is nothing. But what we see now is their invention I was looking at. Normally, I've never really looked into what did they really invent, really. But sometimes, okay, they invent that, oh, that's cool. But I have to go deep to actually who invent light. I found it's a white man. Who invent this traffic light? White man. Who invent all kind of things that I was saying, you know, who actually built this skyscraper.
Even fried chicken. Even fried chicken.
Oh, it's Irish, you know, that is Irish food. You understand me? You know, if the soul food is Scottish food. You understand me? So I have to like, I was really very confused. Okay, you know, you put invent this, invent that. Look, if you invent something, what I noticed, you see, the white man never actually talk about what they actually invent because they invented it.
Right.
You understand me? Because the white man, they did it and they just put it aside. You understand me? So I asked a white person, I said, look, why is that you people don't talk much about what people have invented? He said that is already past. They're thinking now much about the future. You understand me? So whatever is in the past, in the past. You understand? So that's what you can see when the white man came to Africa or whatever they are, the white people, they never complain. They are not everything for them is an adventure.
And like Rasmus said, even like mac and cheese, that's all invented by the whites. Most blacks are lactose intolerant.
The whole
how can they invent mac and cheese?
I forgot was man.
The whole food you see United States is being invented by the white man. You understand me? Because they're the one farming it, they're the one doing it, they will do experimenting with it. You understand? So you can never really you see the truth of the matter is, as an African, right? Even when I eat what they call pizza, even when I like it sometimes, still it still tastes foreign to me because my taste is not built inside that system. You understand me? I can sit
because we got used to beans, you know, natural.
Yeah, I'm used to some. That's what I said.
That's Italian Greek food right there.
Right. So if you put
I can relate, man.
If you put me in a group of maybe let's say Gambia, right? You put me in Gambia, right? You serve me their food. Sure, I will taste because as my natural, because I've already built in taste for such a food. You know what I mean? That's why you see when African people move to other African countries, they never really complain too much about the food. You understand me? Or it never actually have anything to do with it. So all this food you say United States, all was being brought by the Dutch, by the British,
but Kidola, did you see video of FBAs, you know, killing each other at a white man's restaurant at Popeye for fried chicken?
Oh yes. Oh yes.
Chicago. How many black people? Since Black Lives Matter so much, what the? How come they're not putting an end to the
that black life matter was one of the most biggest scam. You know what they did with that.
Yes, they collected money and went to go live.
Yeah, they infused the blacks.
The lady that was the head of that organization, basically. She was buying mansions by the tons, and I'd like to chime in with that. The only time they had a hope in getting the reparation, it was under their fellow black, which is Obama. And what Obama did?
Obama played them. Obama is a Kenyan.
Yeah, but he's an American in the sense of cultural
I
education.
mean, he also grew up in Indonesia.
Yeah, but I'm assuming most of his life and his later studies he did it in the West, primarily America. So in that sense, he is an American.
Then after
otherwise he wouldn't qualify for the presidency, right?
Right.
After Obama, they wanted to bring an Indian woman and turning to be blacks, and and the Indian woman started dancing in the public, started raising her head, shaking the waist just like the way the black did. And see what she was. You see the black people. What the black people event is this dancing. This dancing. Guess what Camilla was doing when she was campaigning? She brought in girls that tricked their ass. It brought in oh,
And
strip
Kidola,
club.
the video I played with Tariq Nasheed, right? The people when they called in, they thought you would think, oh, they are worried about what Elon Musk said. You know what they are talking about? Rap between Kendrick Lamar and the light skin what's his name?
Because
The
that's
one
what low
from
IQ
Canada,
people
Drake.
do,
Drake.
Afrodamus.
Drake.
I'm one of his. He added me to one of his streams. He uploaded me. If you go check his YouTube channel, I'm in one of those streams. Because I joined his X and I was literally judging his what they call it, basically challenging his worldview and his narrative and the narrative that he was pushing, which tend to be anti-African and pro African American. And sometimes they don't even claim the word pro. I mean African American. They just say we native. We were here before the actual Indian natives. And I'm like, bro, like, are you guys comprehending what you're saying? But that just shows that they're just living in their little bubble, and that's their new
Look,
reality. And
look,
they
the
don't
hit.
like. Let me say this one more thing, all if you don't mind. And when I told him when I joined his stream the other day, I was like, well, how come you guys don't acknowledge the white man invention that have changed the world, in a better way? And if you guys do, sometimes it upsets you guys. And why is that? And then he was like, oh no, it's not this and that. The thing that we invented outweighs what he invented. They either shove it aside or turn a blind eye to it, or just
Bro,
don't acknowledge it, at all. Because if you think about it realistically, 90% of the invention that currently running the world and making the world operate in a good way is actually invented by a white man. And by acknowledging it, that does not make you a sellout. You just acknowledging the fact.
But you
Airplanes,
see, the
phones,
blacks have
GPS,
their
right? Who?
section that they control here in America that they are
Indeed.
experts at. Like I said, not everyone can control everything. There's things they are good at. But this wokeism removed the blacks away from that.
bro,
You know,
if you take this when they hit Africans, I think we're just joking. There's not the time. This be a long time. Tarek is just the son of the ones that started this early 60s. But
and
you
also,
see
like what you heard from, Elon Musk. Do you think what does this mean for the blacks? Do you think
they're not,
do you think they're gonna change their ways? Like because
if they
nowadays
don't
the
change, if they don't
immigrants,
change
America is about who can make it happen.
Afrodamus, the Latinos that make Trump to be president that came out heavily to vote for Trump,
Oh, and the Africans.
huh? Are the
And the,
Africans, right? Afrodamus, let me just tell you the truth. The Latinos are not here to hear no woke shit that the what the blacks want to say. They don't want to hear what Tariq want to say. They're not interested in that. They're interested in get a job, create a job, working hard, doing their normal thing, right? They're not here for any game. They're not here. This, you see, things will change. And if you're not in the game, you will lose out. You understand? So there's nothing like pittiness. You don't cry for anything. You just do your own. You have to be there. Elon Musk would prefer to work with an African than ever work with Black America because he started hearing some of this nonsense. This guy is asking him to low down the standard. The African will say, "Okay, let's get to the standard." You understand me? Let's get there. You understand? It's like you're in an exam. You ask the examinant to load down the standard of the scores. So that you can pass. The Africans never ask you to load any standard. Where's the standard? Where's the bar? You understand? So I will get to that bar. You understand me? So that's where that's how the Jamaicans also operate a lot. You understand? So the truth of, we invent this, it's just becoming nonsense now.
And also, Ola, sorry to cut you off.
No, go on, bro.
Yeah, this is the loop that the African American community is stuck on, and they either don't realize it or they just accepted their new reality, which saddens me in a way. Which is, uh, they they seem to be what they call they seem to be basically distracted between them, basically, and instead of like looking looking at the greater cause, like what benefits them generally, right? What, like, and instead of looking after their interest, they killing each other on the street every day. And they culturally they degraded ever since what they call MLK and what they call what was that leader? I
Oh,
forgot.
and you
Malcolm
know what?
X.
You know
Malcolm
what?
X.
I want you to hear part of this before we continue.
Oh, okay,
Okay,
go on.
let's hear some of it.
I agree with that. But that doesn't mean anything. That doesn't mean a lot to a whole lot of people who aren't able to take advantage of the opportunities that you were able to take advantage of, simply because the color of your skin.
What advantages did my color of my skin give me?
Well, there's an ease that you have in society that many people of color don't. You were able to come to this country voluntarily. There are many people who were not able to come to the country voluntarily. There are people who came here as
very difficult
slaves.
for me to come here.
And there is a legacy of slavery that still continues on. There's a legacy of racism that still continues on in this country. That's undeniable.
Well, if we keep talking about it nonstop, it will never go away. If we keep making it the central thing, it will never go away.
Why do you believe that?
I think I'm just making a simple statement of fact. So I think we want to get away from making everything a race or a gender or whatever issue, and just treat people like individuals.
Do you have any desire to understand what many people of color and even trans people, how they feel about this country and how they're treated in this country? If they say and they believe that they are treated a certain way in this country, why don't you believe them?
You cannot have a situation where someone is a self-described victim, and they just get to be that because that's how they feel.
I think that does happen in some cases, but not all cases. And I think that not understanding the history of the country, I think, is a real shame. Look, we should understand the history of the country and other countries. I've had incredible opportunities as a person of color.
Right.
But I've also been
very well.
But I've also been discriminated against, and I know that I have.
So, think about this. Don Lemon
And I know I have.
is very successful, right? According to the standards, he makes millions, but he still have to pretend like he's a victim, just like, let's say, people like LeBron James. So you see, it's hard, like, to take the blacks serious with their victimhood. Let me bring in the panel on that.
Don Lemon is very sour, just like a lemon.
Yeah.
Bitter.
So it's like deception.
Yeah.
I mean, and he's with a white man on top of that, which, in like woke, like black rule, they're not supposed to be with whites because apparently all white, that's being a sellout. You know how Dr. Umar is obsessed with white. Imagine, like, if you're not into white women or any group of women.
No, I actually support what
normal people, right? Normal, like, for example, I don't talk about Chinese women. I'm not into Chinese women, for example. So I don't talk about Chinese women. So why talk about what you are not into?
No, I like
the I'm like, I love that. Look, that guy, mass in my mind. You have to deal with people individually. You don't have to be every time you want to bring racism to the
right.
Every time racism, whatever it is, color. But look, he's kissing the white man over there. Is he telling the white man, "Oh, you kissing the slave mouth right now"? With the plantation mouth. So you kissing me because no, he's kissing that white man equally, right? As an equal human being.
Right.
You understand me? Why are you bringing in always you making money, but you want your people to always become a victims? You know what I mean? Tell them the truth how to make money, but stop that. Look at this dude now called Abshapti, right? Abshapti was collecting.
Trust me, I'm gonna bring Al Sharpton versus Vivek Ramaswamy. Just like this, I'm gonna bring this, okay. and Al Sharpton. I don't even want to do spoiler alert. He is being the #1 race hustler of all time. Lots of fabrication. We will bring that here.
Yeah,
Trust
so
me.
what I'm trying to talk about, we have to, you see, when the Africans came to United States, they have to work hard. So they have to do like one job. You have to start, the Africans don't know what's called to
Some
take a
3
loan.
jobs.
Yeah, because some of them don't know how to take a loan to go to school. Some
Right.
of them have to work in the morning, or if their school is in the evening, they have to really work hard, have their money, go to school, pay their school fees, get whatever they want to get, still move on with life. And some of them become very, very, successful. You understand me? So to them, the Africans are like the white man. You understand me? So that's why they hate the Africans is the Africans are not really. I told you Afro-Damos, I said, why they could say in Ghana, because the Ghana wants something from them, right? That kind the Ghana ready to listen to their music. In Nigeria, you can come up and tell you, oh, you see, I'm this, I'm a Vitihum, I'm this. I said, look, hold on, my brother. Look, your Nigerian people that went to that place, they're coming here to build mansions, they're setting up businesses here. They don't, why. The next day, they will not even listen to them anymore.
Right.
Because they're not there. They want to excel. They want opportunity. They want what to do. Not you coming to sell me something like the way they want the Africa to hate the white people. But why? But if I say, you run to the white man and say, oh, you see that African guy? He's threatening me. You know what I mean? So it didn't make sense. You understand me? Do what you could do. Behave like this guy called Elon Musk his mother and father still live in South Africa. That guy is a real African dude with his own mind. You understand? He came in, he made some money, he became the richest man in the world. Where? In United States. You understand me? In United States that they say this is happening. That's why the guy was a little bit uncomfortable. He was looking at him like you're a dumb man. Look at the Indians. The Indians are celebrated, anyhow. Look at the Africans that came there. They don't really complain. Life
You'll
move
never
on.
see a Nigerian complain, man. They go all the way to uni, become they'll become a professional in a certain category, certain area. But the black man, instead of getting their ass up and make it happen, what they tend to do is get high, right?
Do what
Smoke,
you could do. Let's
watch
give
Netflix,
to
game
the
bang, shoot each other dead on the street. What happened to the role models like Malcolm X, right? And I'm not saying all black people are like that. Most of them are actually good, but the minority is the loudest, right? So let's address them as such, right? And instead of looking up to people like Malcolm X, they dressed well, proper, no sagging pants, right?
bro. If not
No jaywalking, no.
Afrodamas that came to
You know what I'm
YouTube,
trying to say?
if not this dude that came to this YouTube to start addressing this people, the Africans
Crazy.
was already there. They were down on YouTube, man.
The
It's
African American
Afrodamas that
culture went down the drain.
came intellectually that started. Look, I don't have problem with this people, but without us seeing this hatred being spilled up by Vekanet, Toniton, the Tariq shit, and some of them, that's what really like, whoa, how can Africans counter these people? Boom, come Afrodamas in a kind of like intellectual way. You understand me? Totally, it's the stories on it, literature's on it.
And
All
you
facts
cannot
before that.
you
understand me?
cannot
So that's why I'm
subjectively
happy.
criticize
That's
them.
why I'm happy that Afrodamas came up now because look, that's what it said. You have to be good at what you're good at. Afrodamas actually put the whole thing, it break it down. You understand me? That's what they're very scared at him. The Kala, the Dalabi, all these black Americans very scared of this dude. They will call all kind of name, because he's telling the truth and he's telling it as a story, history. Thank you, bro.
Exactly. Let's bring questions to ponder.
Yeah, before question speaks, Afrodamus, do you have Twitter by any chance? I searched on Twitter a couple days ago and I followed you.
I'll post it in a sec. I just gotta fix some stuff,
Okay,
but I'll post it for sure.
I'll post
Questions to
mine
ponder.
on the chat too, yeah.
Questions to ponder. Do you see like Elon Musk? He's in the government, and you have Vivek Ramaswamy. They believe in merit instead of this skin color thing, or dropping the thesis because the person is black. And wokeness is gonna be coming to an end. This racism thing is coming to an end. How do you see things for the blacks moving forward in 2025?
Oh, it's time to get focused, Afrodamas. This is the best time for everyone. I was speaking to my mother, and she also agrees it's time to end affirmative action. She said it's no longer needed. Black people can do it. You can do. You don't need this. You don't need this. The resources, the availability is here. What Elon Musk went through in South Africa, especially coming out of the apartheid in the 90s, is nothing what we had growing up in the 90s. And this includes Black people. The 90s was good. The 90s was good. This was a very good time to raise a family, inflation, and there was stability. Russia did not have stability in the 90s. Everyone was really suffering, except the United States. So coming out as a Black person, because you still had neighborhoods and families, and also Ola Afrodamus, the crack epidemic, when they bring up Biden and super predators, do you know where that came from, the crime bill? That was actually Black Americans, the church,
Right.
Black church.
Exactly.
They needed help.
I know. I'm aware.
They were the ones carrying all the weight. The crack house started.
Pretty much what you're saying, the Blacks, they are in fact the right arm of white supremacy. What they are preaching, they are in fact the KKK.
It's the enforcement arm.
Yes.
The
Because look at Fannie Willis, look at Letitia James. They are the ones that are
Tiffany Haynard.
they have been used, to go do the dirty job of the system.
Right now, to answer your question, it's going to become a lot more difficult with DEI coming to an end. With DEI,
no, trust me, DEI is gonna come to an end.
Yeah, so
Believe
it's
you
going to
me,
be difficult for a lot of Black women.
Trump is going to cut back because look, Trump owes the Blacks nothing. He didn't promise them anything. He did not run on, we give you checks, we give you this, because they want free stuff. They voted in, like the women voted 92% for Trump. The men voted 85%, right? So if you look at it, Walmart, besides the government, one of the highest employers of the Blacks, they are ending DEI. You think those overweight Black women are going to continue to work there and not doing anything? It's not going to happen.
What will definitely happen, you're going to see a lot more legal immigrants who will take many of these positions. Walmart has automated a lot of their work, but you still need people. Like they're not going to take away self-checkout. They brought in self-checkout because of all the theft, a lot of theft. And
they're going to improve the food.
And they will
too.
improve.
They will improve the food. So now the excuse can be like, oh, I'm overweight. No, you're gonna be eating good, clean food, and people are gonna start exercising. Bring health, make America healthy again.
That too, but also the type of people who will be hired. You will have to go through onboarding, sensitivity training. And when I say that, it's knowing how to not be racist to other, to immigrant people, watching your manner.
But can you describe racism?
Can I describe racism?
Yeah.
Racism, inflicting harm, using your authority against someone else due to race.
Oh, that's abuse of power. I think people, because I don't think it's based on the skin color. They do it because if you're an easy target.
If you're an easy target, which
they can pick on you.
Are, yeah. And they move as a group. They move as a coordinated group. That's why it's important to Black women out of HR, because a lot of these problems is occurring because with DEI, you had more Black women in management and human resources. But the issue with DEI, Afrodamus, is that DEI does not produce value.
True.
You can enter a job through affirmative action. I do believe that I have received job roles as a Black woman because you receive special subsidies from the federal government because of affirmative action, a number of people you bring in. But Afrodamus, the minute I go through that door, I have to work. there's nothing else special about me. I have to work. It's that I've actually heard the same thing from Ivy League graduates. I know a guy who went to Harvard. He now works for PricewaterhouseCoopers, PwC. He said that, yeah, you get the door open, but they expect more from you because you did go to Harvard. But
what do you make of the race hustlers like Tariq? They are worried, like, because Elon is saying, hey, everyone was one slave, which is true. We want to move into the future. We are tired of these, 12 years of slave, all that, Django Unchained. Like, I mean, for how long? Do you guys want to be in the plantation, or you want to move into the future? So now America is like, we're moving into the future. There's new sheriff in town, the new blacks from the Caribbean and Africa, they looking into the future. And nobody's trying to talk about no Kunta Kinte
it's
stuff.
going to become one thing. It's going to be difficult. There's going to be more violence, a lot more xenophobia.
Oh no, Trump is here. He will take care of this. Let me read the super chat here. Sorry for a second. Yaya King, thank you for the super chat. He said they love to hate the European. Don't believe what they say. Just look at their actions. Thank you for the super chat. Guys, feel free to hit the super chat. Yaya King, thank you for supporting the show. Chukwu, Chukwu, thank you for the super chat. Chukwu said, permanent underclass status. The Pookie and Bonquishers. That's why the blacks are so shook. The talented 10 will always be the premium blacks. You're 100% correct. Thank you for the super chat. All right, let's continue.
But that's also
sorry to interject, sis. Afrodamas, I have to do something very important. It was nice chatting with you, brother. Just try to leave your socials in the YouTube chat so I can keep in touch with you in real time. And then we'll try to host some TikTok live frequently because I have a big following there.
Okay.
I'll boost your following also. But yeah, man, it's nice speaking with you. Take care, Ola. Take care, everyone. Nice speaking with you, Afrodamas.
Thank you.
Also, something I have to bring up after Afrodamas.
Yeah.
Number one, there's going to be greater economic stratification because as more Black people earn more income, become the Black professional class, and you know who that is. The others are going to become.
Who would you consider the professional class?
Afrodamas, you know who it is.
I mean, I don't know. I'm confused about the blacks. Because when it could be the Don Lemons, they could be Al Sharptons, because the real blacks that actually are smart, like Ben Carson, they call those people sellouts. So,
Lisa Rice.
So it's hard to tell if they, let's say, like blacks that are smart are called sellouts. Let's just be real.
So there is an
when you say that,
there's an anti-intellectualism.
For example, someone said the talented 10. Those are race hustlers. Those are the race hustlers. I mean, imagine naming yourself the talented 10. Like, what makes you think you're more talented than all these people? They made themselves the leaders of the blacks. That's been the grift from the get-go. Because think about it. After slavery, there were many blacks, right? Imagine they own their own lands, they own farmlands, they grow their own crops, they have land, they have animals. Imagine today someone is telling us, someone who owned a farmland, they're a farmer, they own their land, they own animals, that person is oppressed. Are you kidding me? That person have more power than you that live in the city. You don't even own your own land like that. So it makes no sense.
All right. Afridumkov, how you doing? You all right?
Oh, so you're going to come here and call me Afridumkov? You don't think I know that language? Why are you acting like... Why do you always got to be a bumster? Why do you always gotta be a bumster? Okay, go ahead. Keep talking because the blacks are about to buy your freedom away. Go ahead, speak.
All right. I was gonna say, yeah, I'm not a big fan.
And you say you call me Afrida Dunkov. Dung Scheiser.
Okay, all right then. All
Yeah.
right. I'm not a big fan
You
of
didn't
Elon
think
Musk.
I knew German, did you?
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm impressed. I'm impressed.
Yeah, Dung
I'm just
Scheiser.
doing it on the slide and all of that. On the
That's right.
slide. All right. Right. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of Elon Musk. I think he's gonna probably disagree with Donald Trump at some point. I cannot wait for that, for them to have a falling out as well. I think Donald Trump represents more of the far right, and Elon Musk is more interested in this the business class over there. I just wonder, to the Black Americans that voted for him, I wonder how they will feel about more police immunity being rolled back in a big way. I wonder how they feel about that. And also, I wonder how they feel because now Elon Musk is targeting Social Security, which I think will target a lot of Black Americans.
Do you live in America?
I don't live in America, but
Okay, so you don't know what you're
Black
talking
Americans
about.
will-
You don't know what you're talking about. Look, we're the ones
No,
that
just
pay
because
the
I don't
taxes here. We live over here. You know, we do not care about what you gotta say across the pond. You know, because you're over here telling us about things we don't know. We don't want wokeness over here, sir. We want to get rid of wokeness.
But you are a hate of Black Americans yourself as well. You
I'm what?
you don't really like Black
No, I
Americans.
love
so
the
you
black.
wouldn't mind if something bad happened to
No,
them.
no. Sir, here's where you're mistaking. I love the blacks. I don't lie to the blacks. If I didn't love the blacks, I would have been one of those people. Hold on, wait a minute. Wait, hold on. If I didn't love the blacks, you think I would come and talk about, the things I talk about? I would have just, if I want to lie to the blacks, I would be promoting fake reparation. I would be promoting, racial tension, just lying, tap dancing. But no, when you love a people, you tell them the truth, and that is what is happening. The blacks did not invent no electricity. They didn't invent the street lights. They did not invent peanut butter. I mean, that doesn't mean I hate them. I'm just speaking facts.
Right. So less police immunity so that the Black Americans can get shot in the street again.
So are the blacks so you telling me the blacks are criminals? Because it's mostly
That's not
criminals.
what
Oh,
I'm
wait,
saying.
why would
That's
you
not what
be
I'm saying.
wait, why would you have you ever seen, so all these people that interact with the police and bad things happen, look at their record. Are they like Harvard graduates? Are they doctors? Is that what's happening here?
They may not all be. They may not all be, but
No,
they
no, no,
don't
no,
deserve to
no,
be
no.
shot
Name
down.
one. Name one.
They may not all be. They may not all be Ivy League graduates or something, but they don't
Sir,
deserve to be
I'm
shot
not
down
even
like a
talking
dog
about that. My
without
point
any
is,
legal process.
wait a minute. You're an African, right?
Yeah.
How come?
But I'm a black man too.
Okay, how come Africans are not crying about the same thing?
Maybe Africans are because Black Americans are the majority minority black over there. Maybe it happens to Africans, but on a smaller scale. It happens to Black Americans on a much
But
smaller scale.
I live here in America, and I've lived here, most of my life.
It
Now.
may not happen to you, Afridamus, but it could have happened
Oh,
to other Africans.
sir, I've worked in law enforcement to enforce in the prison, especially where, there's a lot of the blacks. They love going there, and I can assure you. If I had met, hold on, if I met people who were there wrongfully and they didn't commit crime, I would have made that known here.
Yeah.
I have not met one person. I have not met one person who isn't guilty.
Not all Black Americans commit crimes. Sometimes
But no one is saying that.
Okay, Afrodamus.
Did you hear? Hold on, Dart.
I'm not angry or anything. I just want to.
No one is angry, Dart. Yeah. No one said here. Yeah. All blacks. Do you know? I have mentioned names of. Do you think all blacks agree with this wokeness? Is that what you think? It's just the loud, weak ones you are hearing. It's not all blacks that are,
What is wokeness? What is wokeness? How did it begin?
Oh, as pretending, talking about you are a victim, talking about my people, they used to be slaves.
Okay.
Wasn't the Jamaicans when they're slaves? Their ancestors.
Okay, let me
Wait a
answer.
minute. Answer my question.
Yeah.
Wasn't the Jamaicans, weren't they slaves?
Okay. Yeah, Jamaicans were slaves. Yeah, they
What
were
about
enslaved.
Haiti? Look
They
at
were
look at
enslaved.
this look at the state that Haiti is in.
They
Do
were
you
enslaved.
ever hold on? Do you ever hear Haitians? Do you ever hear them talking about, oh, it's because of slavery? And we can tie Haiti's downfall, the blacks in Haiti, we can directly tie their downfall from their, enslavement, from them,
I hear this.
from them, fighting and liberating themselves
Right.
from the people who enslaved them. They
Yeah.
have direct tie to that. We can prove this, but you're
Uh,
not gonna meet the
okay. Okay.
Haitians,
Okay.
and the Haitians tell you our country is messed up because our ancestors were slaves. They're not saying that to
I
you.
can. See. I want to address many points. So, because I
Okay,
don't have a
we'll
very
listen.
yeah.
You can address it, and I want the
Many,
panel
because you're
also
making
to
many
talk to
points
you.
there. You're making many points. So
So, would you say the Haitians are better than the blacks?
no, I have heard some Haitians complain about the state in which the nation state is at. I have heard it live on YouTube here. There and you do have some Haitians like
If
Ralph.
you see Haitians crying that their condition is because of slavery, bring it to me.
I have heard some Haitians, some of them who even host YouTube channels that decry the reason why their country is like that, and they blame it to some kind of racism. And I have heard Jamaicans who live in the UK over here also decry that, even on YouTube. So we do
Look,
have, and you do have some
Dart,
Haitians like
Dart,
Ras
Dart,
Noise that
Dart.
say
I'm not
different things.
saying Dart. I'm not saying that won't happen, but especially I don't know about where you live, but here in the United States, that's not a normal thing to run into like a Jamaican, like Caribbean people, Haitians, Cuban, whatever, to run into them and the conversation goes into slavery. That's not what they are about.
Okay.
That's my point. These
Okay.
people are over here. Most of the businesses you even call black business, they are the ones who are creating these businesses.
No
You're not
problem.
gonna get slave conversation from a Jamaican that easily, them blaming whatever on slavery, or a Haitian. That's my point. But in
Like
America, the blacks are from the richest country. They have a lot more opportunity. They even tell you they are the premium blacks. They tell you this. You've heard this. Even on this channel, premium blacks
we
have
heard it.
bought you as a slave and put you in timeout. Didn't this happen? That's how much money the blacks have.
Yeah. I hear you. I hear you.
So,
I hear you.
the blacks don't need your dusty bumster ass to
I
come
hear
here
you.
and defend them.
No. I'm just stating. I'm just stating out what I know to be my truth as well.
Okay, all right, you
Okay.
can. You feel
So
free to
I
name
do
your
know
truth.
that a lot of Black Americans also are the ones that receive Social Security. So you can take it for what it is as well.
You
That
said what? You said
they
what?
receive a lot of Social Security. A lot of them.
Do you know the population? What's the percentage of the population of blacks in America?
I don't know. They make about 40% of the population. That's what
No,
I
you
heard.
see, you are crazy.
No,
The blacks are barely 13%.
13%.
Barely.
Afrodamus, it's 14%.
No, it's not 14.
The
Because if you because they add us to their population. If you remove
It's
us and the
13%.
Caribbean,
Okay.
they are like about
It
11-12%.
it
It's not
still
that.
doesn't it still doesn't
Afrodamus,
negate.
I'll put it in your chat right now. I actually looked it up yesterday.
Okay.
Here's the census for you and
I know.
Owen.
I looked up the recent census. I know what I'm talking about.
And
It's still
Afrodamus, you do make a good point. Immigrants, Black immigrants, I don't know if this is including their children, but they do say Black immigrants make up about 12% of the Black population.
No. This is the reason why the black population even reach almost 13%. It's not because of just them. It's because of for the people they are calling tethers, the Caribbeans and Africans. We gave them that boost.
Yeah,
Look it up.
that's true.
Most people they call in Black American. Go look at their background.
That's true.
So
However,
the people say they are straight from the South, FBA, I'm not talking about the amortizer class, because some of them, it's questionable, because even if they have 1%, people like Mariah Carey, they would say they're black. I'm talking black, to
Still
give
doesn't
them
make
the
any point.
boost for them to get to that. To get to that, the foreign blacks are the ones, they add us to the black population, because
Yes,
obviously we're black.
that is true.
If you count us and Caribbeans by ourselves, the blacks, I think they will be at 10%.
Afrodamus, would you say some of these dusty black Americans, or some of these dusty blacks, they depend on food stamps and social security because they don't pay attention to the education that well, isn't it? So sometimes they depend on government to help instead of helping them, picking up instead of picking themselves by their bootstraps.
But Afrodamus, it's not fair to include Social Security because that's completely separate.
I know.
I believe
that doesn't understand. He doesn't understand America.
Right. Let's just say entitlement. There is entitlement.
Hold on. What you don't understand is, you're just spewing what you heard on the news. In fact, I'm going to bring a show here to show you, literally, because when I speak about it, you're going to think, oh, Afrodamus is just against the blacks. I would show you, like, there are blacks.
Yeah.
Many blacks, right, who are literally against this. It's not all blacks that are woke in America. I don't know if you know this. It's not. Look, you will clearly see that it's not all blacks that are woke. I'm telling you,
and I'm speaking to them at the moment.
Those are the people they call the sellouts, because those people are they call the smart ones. People like Jesse Lee Peterson, Thomas Sowell, Ben Carson, a lot of this, Larry Elder.
Would you say most
black
also, Afrodamus, look up Condoleezza Rice. Look up
Condoleezza Rice, exactly. Condoleezza Rice.
Afrodamus, would you say most black Americans, instead of pulling themselves by their bootstraps, they actually decide to depend on government to help their government, Would you say instead of right?
Yes, so, they do it through the mother. They promote the single. Imagine if you grew up in Section 8 with your single mama on food stamp, right? It becomes a religion. Your mom believes the government, believes that the white government is the one in charge, right?
Afrodamus,
hold on. Elon Musk pulling this social security net for them is good, isn't it?
It is not. Social Security.
No, it is not Social Security. Like, you have to remember, you cannot just receive. It's not like people just sit and receive Social Security. That's not how it works. That's a whole different program. It's different from the food stamp and all that. You got a Social Security, like, for us, like me and questions to ponder.
Right.
We've been paying like every time we work, right?
Right.
Like our jobs, like we pay into that.
Correct. And Afrodamus, if you were to move back to Gambia as an old man, it would still be received to you in Gambia at a bank, any bank there, or So that's because you paid into it once you receive, once you hit a certain age. So that is an entitlement benefit that is received to permanent residents and to citizens after 20 years of working. After 20 years as a permanent citizen, you receive Social Security wherever you are in the world. Everybody gets that.
I see.
I've worked over 20 years.
Yeah, so Afrodamus, my dad actually told me like 20 years ago, because they send you letters, like after 20 years, they send you letters about, here's what you're able to do.
They send it before that, I remember a few years ago, I have received, letters.
Because you paid into.
To show like at the time, right? If I died, any of my beneficiary, like my child, minimum they will receive is $1,500, a month. If I had died, you see what if I have like minor children, they would receive that.
That's why
So
Social
so they
Security is
update.
good for
So they,
African. Like, if
yeah.
you're an African man and you like to continue having children in your 60s, you know, a lot of African men do that. What happens is
Well,
that,
I'm not. I'm far from 60. I don't
but
know what I will
you know
be.
what I mean. Once you reach like 63 or 65, if you have minor children, the government will reach out to you and they
Right.
will set up like a plan how to make sure your minor children will receive your money because you've reached a certain age. So you immediately receive Social Security, and anyone us Afrodamas that is a beneficiary,
I think
which
I
is
heard
number
you want
one,
to
would be your
privatize
minor
that.
children. Like they're like my dad, he just kept on going,
I think I heard he wants to privatize that thing. I heard on the news that he wants to privatize that Social Security. But either way, it doesn't negate the point, right?
Social
Hold on.
Security is you have to like pay into it.
You
Yeah.
have to,
Like
you
I
have
don't
to
know
pay
what you're
into it.
talking about. Like you have to like
As long as you
you
have
cannot,
a
yeah,
He
you
wants
have
to
social
to
and you're
privatize. He
working,
wants to
pay
you
into
pay.
privatize
it.
it. He wants to
Nobody
privatize
gets
it.
around it. Darth
Right.
Yeah,
Raven, when you
No,
have
you
a
you
cannot.
privatize
social,
it.
when you have a social
You-
in the United States, which means you can work anywhere legally, wherever, they
Right,
immediately take deduction. That is
right.
Social Security.
He
It
wants to
doesn't even matter
privatize
how
it.
old you are.
He wants
Everybody
private.
pays into
He
it.
wants to privatize it to have private insurances to do that. And when they do that, eventually you start to see the lesser in society start to suffer
Look,
the most
Ras,
as well. Just like
look here,
healthcare.
Dirt. You are talking about something you have no idea about.
No,
You don't know.
no,
You did. Hold on. You have no money put into this. We have money into this.
I
Okay.
understand. Yeah.
All right. So you cannot explain this to me. I've been paying.
I
Look,
understand that.
I've been paying into this over 20 years.
I hear you.
So I
I
am
hear you.
telling you right now,
I hear you.
like you live across the pond, my money is into this.
The
You
system
cannot
cannot do this.
Not
Look,
only that,
you can't
Afrodamas,
the system
if
explain
you
cannot
this
were
to
do this.
me.
disabled, Afrodamas, if you something happened to you that you were disabled, you could then file early
Right.
SSDI, disability income.
The
Yeah.
systems are not too
And then,
dissimilar.
and even now, Afrodamas, if you filed SSDI, you moved to Africa, the money would still be just go directly to Africa.
Well, the blacks are not gonna like that, but they don't know that I've paid into it.
Well, of course, everybody has, yeah.
Yeah.
When it
So like Dirt, what you are saying,
I gotta say what I'm
SSI,
saying.
look, Social Security is not food stamp or the things you're talking about.
Yeah, yeah,
Like like you don't like people, even young person, if they get pregnant and they got a child, they will receive food stamps.
All right.
As they
Like
should.
they don't have to pay like
I-
they don't have to pay anything into it. That's just
Darth Raven, are you
Yeah.
in Germany?
Hold on.
Are you in Germany?
Let me mention. I use food stamps to kind of trying to get Afrodamas from a different angle as well. You understand?
No, the food stamps is you cannot food stamp. You cannot like.
Okay. It
It's
still
not.
falls under the umbrella of social programs, which are
Yeah, but there's conditions like.
yeah.
There's
It
conditions.
falls under the umbrella of social programs, which are domestic policies that will affect American citizens internally. And sometimes these people they come up with domestic policies that end up hurting the poorer man the most. And who the poorer man is the black man. This is the reality.
Let me ask you this. So Dirt, are you telling me right? Someone is better off if the government gives them, let's say, $400 a month, right? Let's say even in cash, and like another 300 in food. Are you telling me that person is better off receiving that free money than actually working and making 3 times or almost 5 times more than that amount? Like, instead of you wait for the government, you can work, do your own thing. Wait a minute. Instead of just receiving 400, you can work and make, let's say 2,000-3,000 more.
Right.
Which one is better? Like, you can do better on your own. That's the point.
Let me speak then. Well,
which one would you do? Like, you working?
It's not.
Wait, no, hold on. Let me ask you this: you working, you make, if the government will give you maybe 300 or 4, but now if you work, you can make 3, 4, 5 times more than that. No one is stopping you how much you can make. Which one would you choose?
Well, I can say that we do have people in
No.
No.
Answer my question.
If I was in a situation where I don't have no choice but to take that money from the government, I will take that money.
What would that be? What would that situation
That's why
be?
those are meant to be safety nets so that you can rebound from a tough
Okay,
time.
no, okay, let's say fine, right? Some people need help.
Yeah.
I understand that, right? But what if people who just deliberately, this is their target, they would rather, just go in that program, and that program is designed. Hold on. That program would keep you in the poorhouse.
And then there's people who desperately need it.
$400. Imagine $400 a month. That's not much money. Like you go to the grocery store. Hold on. That's grocery money.
No, not to you, but to somebody else, it might be life-saving for them. To somebody else, it might be crucial.
Eggs, like where I shop at, Whole Foods, maybe not Walmart. Eggs is like at $10.
Right. Oh, after that, there's people with no means.
If you buy egg, for example, you buy eggs, six eggs at $10, 9 something plus tax. That's a little over 10 something with this inflation.
I would say this.
And then when would you like you go to the produce section, you buy your produce, or you want to eat steak or fish, whatever, like a good steak, even on sale. Hold on, even on sale, it would cost you minimum. Let's say good steak ribeye would cost you right now at least $15 per pound.
Yeah.
$15 per pound. So 2 pounds, that would be over $30 something. You add the eggs, and then the onions didn't come in, the vegetables. Like, what are you talking about?
Afadamas, all I can say is we've seen examples where countries don't have social safety.
Dad, let me ask you this. Dad,
you keep asking
Dad,
questions.
Are you truly a loser?
No, I'm not. I'm a winner.
You do sound like a loser. Hold on, guys. Questions to ponder. Doesn't he sound like a loser?
No, I am a very qualified, high-paid network engineer over here. So I'm qualified, graduate university degree, and I have investments in Africa. So I do well for myself. Thank you.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you. Sorry for accusing you. Ola, what do you make of Dirt the Bombster's idea over here? Ola, are you there?
Ola and I go way back, man. Ola,
I think that is not living in America. I think
he's not living in America. He doesn't understand.
That live in America to explain because the system is different. They know their system. You might visit that place.
I don't have a bone in a fight, but I don't have a bone in a fight, but I do feel something for Black Americans, in which I feel they are going to be highly affected in the next coming years regarding the domestic policies that will be rolled out in the United States and all that stuff. They will be highly affected.
They will be okay. They can solve.
Doesn't want to speak the truth.
They can solve their own problem. They'll be there for 400 years.
Mate,
Remember
the last time police immunity was rolled, these people were getting killed like chickens all over the place. And we were very sad to look at.
Dad, how many blacks in a year? Hold on, Dad, let me ask you this. You said blacks were getting killed. How many blacks were killed by police?
So that was good night, bro.
Police were shooting them. That was
how many?
But you stop with this semantics.
No, I'm just asking you. How many?
I've seen the videos. I've seen Black Americans getting gunned down like nothing.
How many?
Because of police immunity.
How many?
I don't know. I don't know the figure at the moment.
So when you say police immunity, do you think like a police officer in the United States can just shoot someone and get away with it?
It was happening when they had high immunity. It was happening.
No. Police have. Look, I told you, I used to be law enforcement. Something where we escort people. I carry guns. I had immunity, but I cannot just say, oh, I got immunity and just shoot someone. That's not how it works.
Okay.
You do realize that, right? Like you're talking to someone who's already done this job. Like I understand I had immunity. I knew this. Okay. In your training, you are told about this. But immunity, the bottom line is if the shooting is clean, if it's clean, they will protect you. Like they will provide lawyers. But if the shooting is not clean, if it's not clean, they're not going to defend you.
Man,
Well,
that why are you arguing over the social security thing, man? They live in America and they're explaining the way the system works, and you still like arguing over that. You know, it's just a
No,
simple thing.
look, Zongo. What it is like as much as it's different from America, it's not too dissimilar from the system in the UK as well. We have
Yeah. I mean, pretty much the way the system kind of works is that
it's not too dissimilar
Look,
from the
I mean,
UK is too woke.
wait.
UK is going down the drain. We are
Let
not
me
like
just
UK. This is
let me
why
just
you guys are becoming a shitty country.
Look at this guy.
let me just explain to him that in simple terms, right? The way it kind of works is like the social security, like you have to be working to be able to qualify for social security, right?
I get that.
And the way it kind of works is that like if you pay into the tax, your money's not into savings. They used to pay like the people who are currently retired or disabled, or or like the descendants of like or the beneficiary of the ones who died, right? And then when we also retire, like the current working class, when they pay into the social security tax, we're gonna get paid. That's how it kind of works. And then to even get qualified, you have to reach a certain like work credit, social security credit to get qualified for that. And
Well,
each year,
Jungle, also it's like
yeah,
unemployment. You
yeah,
cannot just say, "Oh, I'm unemployed," and go collect unemployment.
yeah.
Like you have to be working and pay into that, and you don't just get
And
up and say you quit.
you
You
need
can just
40.
quit. You have
You
to
need
pay into this.
you need 40 credits to qualify for social security, and that's like
Right.
equivalent to like 10
And
years of
Yeah,
Zongo,
work.
you have to pay for this. This is
Yeah.
not free.
And Zongo, do you believe that will be better managed by private companies? So that social security
Maybe.
it will be better managed by
Look,
private companies who we
look.
have seen with
Why
private
should we
healthcare.
trust the government if they are taking our money and giving it to
Apparently, the government has
claiming that
always never
No,
hold
supported
on.
I mean the
unemployment.
government is the one taking care of social security
Yeah.
now.
So I
Yeah,
don't know
but
what Dark is talking
Elon
about.
Musk
No, no,
wants to
I mean,
privatize it.
but the system is kind of currently like the system is kind of like flawed a little bit. The social security program's kind of flawed.
Look, if they're
It's kind of
taking
a little
money,
flawed a
right?
little bit
For
though.
example, if people are saying they're creating all these DEI programs, right? They're creating this Ukraine stuff. So they are taking people like me, people that are working, they take our money and say they're giving it to Ukraine, or they claim they're giving it to Africa, which is not a country, right? So they do little stuff like this. If they keep doing that, then we won't have anything in our social security because
Yeah,
they are taking our money that we are paying. Do you
yeah,
understand this?
but I don't think they're actually taking our money because like
Zongo,
no, for them it's like because
I don't think you know
no, but for
what
them
is
it's like
going on. You allow the Damus, the professor, to
no,
continue doing the investigation and tell you.
no, no.
If you
I'm
didn't,
saying
if you don't know, just tell me you don't know.
no. I'm not even discounting what you say. I'm just saying like what we paying now, the money is currently being used to pay like the ones who are
Right,
retired now.
right.
So like there's literally
But
nothing there.
if they're taking the money and paying and diverting it elsewhere, it will affect the process that is happening because
No, I mean
they're going to deplete the funds.
no, if they pay it elsewhere, it means the ones who are retired or the disabled ones wouldn't be getting that money. So that one is not really, they are not
Right,
really affecting it. It's like their money is dependent on us working. We gotta work
true,
for us to be able to pay them. And the
right,
same thing is gonna happen when we retire to or we die. The newer ones who are in the working class are going to be paying us
right.
the social security benefit. I think what Elon is saying.
That's why
I,
we don't
Elon
need
wants to
people to be
privatize
on
it.
welfare. You see,
no,
that's
but
why we need people to work so that the cycle can continue.
Elon wants to
yeah, yeah, but
privatize it.
I think what Elon is saying that we have like a budget deficit. It means we are spending more that we are getting. In other words, the taxes that the government is getting, it's not even enough to suffice our spending habit. So the government is probably printing more money, and that's creating inflation. Because I mean, American society just can print just money. That's it.
All right.
That's what Elon is
Hold
talking
on.
about.
Yes, let's allow Big Black to chime in. Big Black, are you there?
Hey, Aphrodite, what's going on? You've been
So,
misbehaving.
so Big Black, how do you feel to know, like, racism is coming to an end? You hear in the panel, Elon have let you blacks know that everyone was enslaved. You guys are not unique in this aspect, which is true. So now, this is coming to an end. We don't want to hear about reparation. How are you as blacks taking this?
Well, you don't want to hear about reparations, but I say the diaspora that in the slave trade, it was a unique slave trade, not including African Americans, but the blacks that get transported all through the Americas, right? Central America, South America, the Caribbean. I really came here to say, Darth, I'm gonna tell you this.
Go on.
When if you gotta watch Afrodamus. If Afrodamus would be the type that'll come to your country and then start complaining to the racist whites.
No, come on.
He would.
Black, I
He'll
know
be the one. He'll be the
What are you
one.
accusing me of?
Hey, Darth, he'll be the one that y'all be kicking out. Like, you know what? You causing trouble.
Mate, I know Afrodamus from the beginning. This guy's mouth is the most different kind of twist and tongues. He twists things. I know the guy. That's why I don't subscribe much. But sometimes I just feel like I gotta say my bit. I know this guy.
What are you accusing me of?
No.
Yeah,
don't worry.
He'll come to your country calling you lazy.
Sometimes I sit and I listen and I say, this guy, I cannot listen to him entirely. He just a bit too many lies. Too many lies. And I just say, turn up.
He'll be the first one they put on the plane.
You have to take him with a pinch of salt. Sometimes he tells truths, but sometimes he just, especially when it comes to Black Americans, Nigerians, even me, he's calling me a bomb star. He's calling me a fellow Gambian a bomb star. That's not even my experience.
Yeah, but that the video you shared about the Social Security, I don't think Elon has actually.
Please watch it.
No, but he hasn't really targeted the Social Security.
Exactly.
He is. He's targeting it.
No, it's not going to target that. I mean, it's all about understanding balance sheet. Expenses, your expenditure, and your income, right? I think he has to look into areas where government are spending, like let's say a lot of like government agencies.
Trying to make it efficient.
So
yeah, I mean, just
Security be
trying to make it more efficient.
No, it's not gonna.
So you think Social Security should be short?
No. I mean, if you look at a budget, right, we have Medicare, Social Security, government expenditure, defense. I mean, he's just gonna weigh like where is it gonna come from? Is he
gonna grow old in America? Why would you?
Is he gonna increase more? Is he gonna increase more? Is he gonna increase more taxes to kind of complement the expenditure increase, or is he gonna just reduce some?
Zongo, the problem is Zongo.
Uh-huh.
We're not only dealing with black problem. The reason why Dirt is upset because because you have some of these Africans also. They have because this thing to rely on government free check is in the DNA of these dusty Africans. so they do this even in Europe. So me speaking about this definitely threatens their position. So this is why Big Black is accusing. This Big Black is accusing.
He's trying to be uppity for you. He's uppity. He's uppity Africans, man. He's uppity, man. But uppity black. He's uppity.
Yeah. Look.
So here's the thing.
I am someone. I'm someone that's aware.
First of all, hold on, Dart. So Dart over here accusing me of lying about anything. He can even prove it. I bring the facts. So my point
I'll add one thing though.
It's about merits. If you dusty blacks cannot get yourself together in the program here, you guys need to move back to Africa, your homeland. That's all I'm saying.
But
You got
I'm gonna add one thing. I'm gonna
Afrodamus, you
add
got your
one thing though.
papers. You got your
I'm
papers, Afrodamus.
Hey,
Well, I'm a citizen of the United States,
but
like
that
Elon
I'm
Musk.
gonna
We are here to regulate this country. Yeah,
but
we're
that
here
but
to
that
get you dusty blacks in check.
You
but that
sure?
I'm gonna add one thing though. A lot of people have complained that like the whole social security program is kind of like flawed. It's just like the money that people are really contributing in, like people are receiving more than what is actually going in. You get what I'm saying? So
okay.
That's
it's
not
kinda,
I
true,
get
though,
you.
respectfully, Afrodamus. Respectfully, that's not true.
no.
You
I mean
can
no
really
no. Many
receive more.
many
Wait,
economists are
wait, wait.
complaining.
That's not me
People are
talking.
receiving more
I
than
was
they
being
What am I
contribute.
not correct about? Hold
People are
on,
receiving more
hold
than
on.
they
Respectfully,
put in.
you will be
Zongo lost his
lucky. A
mind.
lot of
Nobody
Hold
wanted
on,
women.
guys. One mic, one
no.
mic,
Juju,
Wait a
actually,
minute, Zongo. Wait.
I was the
The
one who said
questions
that.
to ponder. What
I was the one
what
who
did I
said
say that you
that.
disagree with?
I think she's referring to me. I mean,
Oh,
I'm saying that I think economists like Milton Friedman. I don't know if you know Milton Friedman. I mean, he has actually really challenged the whole program about Social
but
Security in the
Zongo,
past.
let me ask you this, Zongo. This is very easy. Elon Musk made it easy. Doge is gonna cut back. There's not gonna be this racism stuff. We are moving into the future, and we understand it. Right now, Ghana, Sierra Leone, and even some of these African countries, they're giving citizenship. If these blacks
Mm-hmm.
who feel like they can no longer live in our this great capitalist system, they can move to Ghana, they'll get citizenship. They can move to Sierra Leone. There's no need for these people to gaslight us over here. They can move.
Now,
Yeah.
We
first of
have
all,
no problem
Afrodamus,
with this.
let me
They
say this,
can go back to
Afrodamus.
their homeland. That's all
All
I'm
immigrants.
saying.
Were
Yeah.
you?
But
Afrodamus, hold
Elon.
on.
I
Let me
mean,
say
this
this real
thing.
quick. Zongo, let me say this real quick. Afrodamus, were you eligible for food stamps when you came over here?
No,
Yeah, you were. You came
no.
over here. You
I
came
mean,
over here
no.
middle
You can,
class.
sir. You cannot. Here's the thing.
No.
Like
Did
a
a come over here
single, a
middle
single.
class?
Look,
But some
a
people
You
were.
came
single
over here a middle
man.
class man.
Look, a single man, young man. You cannot be eligible for that. Do you
No,
think
you
you
can.
can?
You can collect
No,
food stamps,
no.
young man.
This is for baby mamas.
No, you can. You can. You can. You can.
Sir.
You
Well,
gotta
I
God,
check.
look.
I'm gonna
First
send
of
you a
all, I
video.
was
I'm gonna
never.
send
I
you a
was
video
never.
right now.
Now,
Zongo,
if you have
my
now
email, I'll send you my email. You
if
can
you
have
have
that
a
conversation.
baby, now if you have a child and
What'd
you
you
try to
say?
collect food stamps, that's going to
My
be
email.
harder because
Uh
they're going to
huh.
be like, damn,
I'll
how you
send you my
take care
email.
of your child?
Look. Here's the thing.
Yeah.
I'm not saying people don't need help.
What I'm saying is you collect the food stamps when
Look,
you came over here. You had a
I'm
Yeah.
link
not
card
saying.
Put it in the back chat.
when you
Look.
Yeah.
got off the plane. You had a link card. You had a
No, I did
card
not.
and you were swiping.
Look. First of all, to have that, you have to have a social security. I didn't have one at the time.
They,
How would you be able? In fact, you know how
they
much
was
they
giving
were.
immigrants that
Let
to
me
the
tell you.
United States.
Do you know how much they were making me pay? Do you know how
You
much they
would
were
get food
getting
stamps.
from
You were
tuition from
eligible
me?
for food stamps before '96
No,
if you didn't have
13.
be an immigrant.
Hold on. 13,000 a year. The natives. You know how much the native born were paying? 8 grand to go to the same college.
You would
So what are
wait a minute.
you
You were given
talking about?
13,000 a year to go to college.
Yeah.
Okay, so you
And
went
this
to a
was
community
even a
college.
community college. What are you
You
talking
went
about?
to a community college and pocketed all that
At
money,
the,
man.
at the
You
time,
you you
no,
you
well,
spent
that
five
was cheap.
thousand.
That was the,
You
hold
spent
on.
5,000 a
Okay.
year and you
Hold
pocketed
on. Let me tell
8,000.
you. Hold on. Let me ask you. You see how like 13,000 you pay at the community college, and people that even went to the university, they paying less than that because they are natives. So do you see like
Tuition ain't that
technical?
high at community colleges.
No, but that's smart,
Yeah,
man. That's being smart. After going to community college, being smart.
yeah.
No,
Avidama,
that's being
The
smart.
college.
Yeah, that's being
Avidama,
smart. But what I'm saying is, for
Oh yeah.
immigrants, they do have set asides to help you. They do have.
Big
Sir,
Black,
they
Big Black,
cannot.
don't worry.
Sir,
They do
why
have.
would
Nah,
America?
man.
Why would
Come
they?
on, man. Stop. I
Big
mean,
Yeah,
Black.
stop
Why
lying,
would
they
man.
they?
he
Big Black.
he could have came
Hold on.
as an
Hold on. Big
immigrant.
Black.
If he's
Big
below
Black.
that poverty level, he get food stamps. I'm sure he
Hold
had a
on.
card.
Hold on. Big Black.
He
Big
was
Black.
grabbing everything he could, every
Big Black.
brochure he
Big Black.
could
Why
to
would?
survive in
Even the
America.
public sector,
Hold
even
on.
the public sector has some form of social security,
Hold
but
on,
you have to work
guys.
in the public
Hold
sector.
on, guys. Hold on.
Yeah. After you worked in the public sector in the beginning. Why did you work for the public sector in the beginning and all that stuff? Why didn't you work for a private company?
Because they were hiring.
Because it's the only place you can get hired, not a private company.
I had
you didn't have the skills to be hired in a private company. You were hired in the public sector.
Okay, let me speak now.
No, I mean,
hold on, Dart. First of all, Dart, I had worked in many different jobs. Okay, I was a pharmaceutical student, just so you know, and I did pharmacy work in labs. These are all private prior to me working for the government back in the days. So what you are saying makes zero sense. I've done all kinds of jobs, and first of all, to go and work in the government at the time, this is not affirmative action for me. You have to be qualified. Like I had to take tests like you have to take tests. If you don't pass, you're not gonna move to the next stage.
Right.
Do you think this is not like applying for position in your village, like your dusty village, where whoever get in? No,
about Darth like that.
like so first of all, I've worked many jobs prior to that.
The job you've highlighted the most is working in the police.
No, the reason because that you have highlighted the most. Hold on. I have been more successful as a businessman than
we're talking. But if you talk about
if I'm talking to you black criminals, I have to highlight that I'm onto you guys. I've already worked
with you
cop? Blacks, and I've known your criminal ways, cop? And I know how to counter you.
Were you a dirty cop, Afrodamus?
What?
Were you a dirty cop?
No, I've followed the law.
You get paid under the table.
Yeah, but that I mean, I don't think there's nothing wrong with affirmative action. If you ask me personally,
you see, Zongo, they want to do away with that too. Zongo, they want to do away with affirmative action. They want merit. They want
affirmative action.
You know what? Here's the thing. I knew it. We have Dirt here, and we have Big Black. And Zongo is a sympathizer of Dusty, he's
Can
you guys let me finish? Hold on. What you guys are seeing here, this is an alliance, from the blacks, and they are Dusty African alliance. And they're sympathizing.
Oh no!
That's what you're seeing over here.
I actually joined just to clarify this whole social security program.
Let's do our closing statements. Because I don't want to ruin the weekend for some of the blacks who think they've invented the moon and they've invented nothing.
Oh, okay.
Question. Hold on. Question. Hold on. Questions to ponder.
Hold on.
Wait a minute. Hold on. Questions to ponder. What do you make of hearing these two, black men, arguing for loser status? What do you make of that?
I don't want to back and forth with that big black person, so I'll just yield. I'm not going.
Yeah, I'll put him on mute so he doesn't interrupt.
That's with that person.
Yes.
Oh,
yeah, go ahead.
That person. I've experienced.
Don't do it.
Go ahead. I put him in the back. Okay. Be Black. You're in the back. You're still here. I'll bring you up when you decide to be, good. Go ahead.
Currently, there's a lot of, if you notice what he was saying, excuses, stating that you received some sort of card, food stamps, and he went into detail. Most African people do not even know what that is. All of these, you hear these from the news. No one participates because, number one, most don't qualify, and others just pride.
Y'all know what that rice is, though? The rice that get dropped.
And he,
hold on, Big Black. Can you stop interrupting the lady, please?
Furthermore, with education in the schools, there is a natural separation given where a lot of, I've known this, not just like, of course, African immigrants, but other people as well, to respectfully separate their children. So when you look at matters regarding regression to the mean, it's going to become a little bit more significant because you are going to see more immigrants separate now more than ever, separate their children from, quote unquote, black children, black communities.
That's sad.
Also, when the amount of like when it comes to education and support, most immigrants are putting their children in private school. So you don't receive any of these federal funding. No Child Left Behind, Afrodamus.
How is this sad though?
That was started in 2004. That is federal funding to the
You mean
school.
that's brainwashing program?
Regardless how you feel about it, it is federal funding. And
Right.
I don't think that's going to be moved back. But that
Oh,
type
trust
of
me, the
program,
Department of Education is getting, shut down.
I know I've heard about. So there may be
And
some,
I welcome that. Give the money to the parents. Let them, send their kids to the school of their choice.
but what will happen though, and many people have pushed back, is that when you have school choice, you know what's going to happen. Most families who are more education inclined, they're going to group together. Other
But not
families,
everyone, have the right,
no, you're
to
right.
go to college. College is not for everyone,
That
and
is
I
100%
want people
correct.
to understand that
That
it's
is
not
very true.
it's
But
not for
it is
everybody.
very difficult if you're an immigrant to not go to college in this country. You're going to have a lot of difficulty.
Well, I know plenty
Yeah.
of immigrants. They've never stepped foot
I
in
depending on
colleges,
which immigrant group you
and
come
and
from,
I can assure
some
you,
some better than others.
some of these people, they can barely speak English. They
We know.
have they have several several businesses. These people are making bank. They're
Well,
making money.
Afrodamas, look in the United
But,
States.
but, but Freeman,
Afrodamas, in the United
that's
States,
minimum
you
though.
don't even
What?
need to be legal. And illegal, if you are illegal in the United
Zongo, you say what?
That's not the majority of immigrants though. It's just a few, just
Zongo,
a
I can
handful
assure
of
you,
That's not the
Zongo,
majority.
I can
That's
assure
not
you,
the
if you do
majority.
the math with immigrants that didn't go to college versus the ones that went to college, I can guarantee you the ones that didn't go to college are making more money than the ones in college.
Oh, that's
That's
false.
a
That's false.
fact. The ones
That's
that
false.
didn't go to college are the ones opening businesses.
I get
You
a
know,
question because we are
Opening
here.
business.
this is
He's
like
talking
I'm
about,
talking about
Are
across
they
the
are they
board. Even
legal though?
whether look, a
Yeah,
lot
but
of the
Afrodamas, are
all
they
of the
legal
all
or
of the
doesn't
illegal?
businesses.
mean you are
Hold on,
making
hold
money
on,
But he's
hold
There's
on,
talking
a
about
hold
the
on,
drug
difference.
dealers. Hey,
hold
hey,
on.
he's
Let me
talking about the
finish.
drug
Let me
dealers.
finish. If you go to college, it's great. Like I know people, who, a lot of them, they brag, they went to college, but I can assure you, in the communities, the businesses I see people doing good in different communities, from Ethiopian, Somali, Gambian, the Nigerians, Caribbean, the people with the businesses, even the Hispanics making money. These are people that didn't go to college.
Yeah, I ain't
So
whatever.
so so that's just a fact.
That's
Like,
false. That's false.
that's I'm just
No, that
telling
is a
you,
fact. No, you're
that is
right,
a fact.
Afrodamas. That is a fact.
This is a fact. Like
And if I
like
may say
like to
something,
open a
Afrodamas,
business
if
in the
you are
United States.
illegal and
Hold
you've
on,
opened a successful
hold on,
business,
guys. I'm not talking about illegal people. I don't speak in terms of illegal. I'm talking about legal. Okay? Even, for example, before they put the wokeness on the blacks, a lot of the blacks that make a lot of money, it's not the people that went to college whatsoever. They were running these businesses. Some of
that's
these
not
people were running, they
necessarily
were running,
true.
okay, let me ask you, if
True.
someone is
That's
running,
not true,
you
You
went
need
to
to ask
Afrodamas.
college,
questions to
right?
ponder.
Wait a
You need
minute,
to ask
wait a
questions to
minute.
ponder.
Hold on, hold
That's
on,
not
hold on.
I
necessarily
can't
true
agree
for
with everything
Let me
Afrodamas.
ask
Afrodrama
you, let me
says.
ask you guys this. If you went to college,
Hmm.
you got, let's say you're a doctor. Some guy, he opened up a cleaning business. He didn't go to college. He opened up a cleaning business. He got a LLC. He got, worked his way and got a couple of employees. You work at your that high end job. Let's say you're not gonna make probably more than 250K a year. So you guys are gonna sit on this platform and tell me you're gonna be making more money than that person if
Wait, okay.
they are you
People
guys
did that.
is
I
this
was
what you
Yeah, but how
this
many
is
people?
was
this
done in
what you
the
guys are is
90s.
this
I'm not
what you
saying
guys are
that's
trying
not
to tell me?
possible.
Yeah, but how many people own like cleaning business though?
Yeah, but
Compared
that's
to
Zongo,
like
we did that in
Zongo,
the
Zongo,
90s.
here's the thing, Zongo. I'm in the business world now.
Mhm.
You don't if you don't know, just say you don't know. There are plenty of people, even
I
Hispanics.
mean, I feel you and I live
No,
in Washington
what
though.
I'm saying, I
But there's a
know.
lot of
Yeah.
Ghanaians that are also like into like construction here in Washington State here too.
Right,
I see a
right.
lot of
No,
them
I'm
there.
not saying
Yeah,
It's
this
a,
but
is
it's
things
a
like
lot of
that,
but
people
that
making
same business can
but
be
for
done open
example,
by an
right?
illegal. That's what
For
they
example,
do.
right?
Not saying that it's bad, but that's what
When I
illegals
worked
do in the country.
when I worked in government, right? I thought I was making good money, but it's nothing close to
What you're
when I
making now.
became a businessman.
Yeah, I'm sure
Not
that,
even
but
close.
that's because I mean, do you think you going to college over here, knowing the nuances of American
Well,
society,
yeah,
also
that helped. No, yeah,
help you as well?
No, it
Because
helps
right,
tremendously.
right.
that's because you went
I'm
in
not like
college
I'm not
though.
gonna discount it,
what are
Yeah,
you
that's
selling?
because you went
Flip
in college.
flops,
Yeah,
Afrodamus? You selling
you
flip
went
but
flops?
I
you went
know
through the school
people
system
who
over
did
Hey,
here.
not even
Afrodamus,
go.
thank you. This big black person is not a character that I'm not going back
But
and forth
I
with this.
know
These
people
people.
who did not go in that system.
Have a great night.
Yeah, yeah.
Bye
Goodbye,
bye,
everyone.
bye bye. Oh, okay.
No,
You're
Afrodamus,
just so
I'm
nasty,
saying,
bitch of
I'm
a man.
saying,
Just a big
Afrodamus,
hold on. I'm also saying, right?
Afrodamus, you understand American society that most of the immigrants. I mean, come on, man. Like, let's be honest. Yeah.
No, okay. What I'm saying is, I'm just telling you what I've seen.
Hmm.
I literally know areas that are like Somali is run by Somalis. Some of these people can barely speak English. I can guarantee you, you're gonna see some guy with their degree, the amount of money they make is nothing close to what that guy is making.
What you been selling them caps on your head?
But I'm saying like you could market yourself to a more larger audience than the one who's not speaking properly. That
Well,
person
it
has to.
depends. It
The
depends.
person
Yeah, right.
the
No,
person has
like
to depend
Zongo.
on.
Zongo,
Yeah.
I'm not saying like college is useless. It's not gonna
Mhm.
help you. Like, I'm not gonna sit here and look you in the face and be like I don't know what it would have been like if I've never gone through that education process, you know? Like, I'm obviously like, yeah, it helped me quite a bit. My argument, I'm
And
not
I
saying this,
and I also
but
guarantee that.
I've also seen people plenty who strictly, I mean, like that. I've seen Hispanics. I've dealt with them. Like, they easily clear 100,000 a year. They can
Yeah.
barely speak
No,
English.
I don't deny that.
They
But I'm
got
saying that.
skills. What I'm saying, they got skills, right? In the United States, it's a capitalist society, right? You can hone in on your advantage. They got skills and they make money from that skill,
Yeah, but
right? But
Afrodamus,
but also,
You over
if you got
exaggerating, Afrodamus.
there are people that make money. But I don't want people to sit
yeah,
here
but
and believe.
What I'm saying is that you can have the skills, right? But then you have more leverage than someone without like that who doesn't speak especially in Washington State where you stay
Yeah,
over
in
here.
many aspects.
You can market yourself to a more larger audience, to a larger customers than the person who has like
But you
speaking
can, but
limitation.
hey, but you do realize you can hire, you can pay
Well,
Oh,
that's
okay.
the case,
someone.
So
Afrodamus.
Like here's
that
the thing.
that
Here's the
gives you
thing.
more
You working
advantage.
all
That
this?
gives you more advantage over that person, though. Afrodamus, right? It means you are not you are saving your money that you are paying. Like you save your money that he will be
Yeah,
paying for another
yeah,
person.
but that's still, if you think about it, the person, right? They didn't sit. I'm just speaking facts. Like, I've I've dealt with people. They've never sat in no college
What type
class.
of
Like,
business you
they're
have,
making
Afrodamus?
lots of money.
No, no,
Afrodamus.
I'm not doubting. I
Hold
agree.
on,
Yeah,
I'm
Afrodamus.
yeah,
saying
they're
like
using their brain. The
What type
hard
of
work.
business you have? What type of business you have?
Oh, it's not
no, you
crack
don't want to go too
dealing,
much.
that's
You don't
for
want to go too
sure.
much into details, man. Like, come
You
on,
don't
man.
want to
Let's
get.
be
Can I say my closing statement? I'm gonna
Okay,
go.
let's do our closing here, since the
Yeah, but
Let's
brother.
that
not step
what is
on his
your
mind, man. God damn.
your problem though? Like, I'm trying to understand
No,
that.
my problem. There's no
That
problem. When I hear privatization, I think of it like how private companies run our water system, our railway, so we run them through to the ground. It's almost like saying American companies or private companies coming to the UK and buying up the NHS as well. I've seen countries where they don't have social safety net because of weak institutions to even collect tax or anything. You see elderly people are begging on the streets in their pension age where they should be retiring. They don't have any good health care. I've seen what happens to the worst of society when there's no government safety programs for them. And in the United States, they have this thing because you are gonna have poor people in your life. You'll have rich people and you are gonna have poor people. What you gonna do about those people? Do you just want them to just be just starving
Well,
and dead? That doesn't make a rich
you know what? Thank you, Dart.
Here's the
Hold on.
After that, let me finish. After that, let me
Dart,
finish.
woe to black Americans.
hold
Woe
on.
to the black
Can we
Americans.
let him finish, man? Every time you say something you don't like,
Big
you
Black.
gonna
I
cut
mean,
him
come
off.
on, that's
Look, we're gonna
I was
send
enjoying Darth.
Dart back to his European masters. He's over here spewing some of that, European welfare system. Dart is never lived in America. We could care less about what he.
Am I being
Go
American
drink
in the
your
next 2
tea.
years? You don't know.
Goodbye. All right, closing
Whatever.
statement. He's already said enough. Go ahead, Zongo, so I can come back to Little Black.
Big Black.
I
To you.
mean, I'm
Big
not.
Black to everyone.
Hey, I think. I mean, I think the reason why I joined was like about this whole like social security thing. I mean, it's usually like a little misunderstanding, but yeah, I mean, yeah, I heard
Why are you even here to address,
that that that
Dart? Dart is a European bombster. You know that guy.
no, that is my guy. I mean,
Yeah,
sometimes
yeah.
some
Let
Is
that
there
guy
people just
go
anybody
drink.
that disagrees with you? Everybody disagree with you.
yeah,
Yeah,
some people just need a little
yeah.
clarification.
It's okay. Well, I'll just let Little Black,
Wait, hold on.
complain to me about accusing
It's
me
Big
of
Black, man.
being a,
No, he's clown. He's
Wait a minute. You the
being
midget.
a
How am
no,
I
racist.
Little
no.
Black and you the midget? I don't
Nah,
understand that.
he's actually clowning your name. He knows your name is Big Black, but he chose to call you Little
I
Black.
see him. I see him. The lines were way bigger than him and shit. Talking about he was Sonic A Warrior. You know what I'm saying? Lines
Yeah,
beat the hell out of him, man. But
yeah.
anyway, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Did I say that out
Actually,
loud? I'm sorry. Let me mute my mic.
yeah. I actually have nothing to comment about like the show. I mean, I'll just let the ones who are really impacted by that to have a conversation about that. But
Thank
other than
you.
that,
Thank you
just
for
be sure
letting
to.
Little Dusty Black, speak
Yeah,
his. Thank you.
yeah. I hate midgets. Oh damn, my fault. I'm still on the show. Hey,
All right,
gentlemen.
Big Black, your closing statement. Big Black, what do you make of Elon, finally ending racism and victimhood?
Elon Musk, yeah, he's one of those quiet racists. He cut.
No, he's not racist. No
He's
such
quiet
thing.
though. I can't find anything on him. Not even one of them quiet racists. I understand you like him because like I said, if you was just South Africa, they'd have kicked you out. You'd have been on the first plane smoking because you'd have been sided with the racists. You'd have been the honorary Boer, and they would have kicked you dead out. So I can understand your mindset. As far as what you was talking about aid, public aid, and everything, if you make a certain amount, you can't get it anyway, and you know that, and you know that you've accepted public aid many
Just
of
so you
times.
know, Elon Musk is African American. Thank you.
I thought he was an Afrikaner. I thought they were.
No, he's African American, just like me.
Oh, okay, okay. He's anyway. Like I said, a lot of immigrants they have public
And how
aid.
do you guys feel you're not gonna be able to talk about reparation checks?
I haven't been talking about reparation checks, so
Oh, okay.
I don't. I'm not under the assumption that that's going to pass through Congress. I mean, if it does, it does. I hope it does, but I don't have big hopes for it. If you've been watching the scene, so I don't think it's going to.
Yeah.
Not a
Shout out to
misalignment.
our African brother Elon Musk.
Yeah, and
he had to clean up all this laziness in the American system. Make America great again.
When they find out that you have a fake driver's license, are you going to be afraid to deport you? So, when they find all your fake documents and stuff, send you back home to them lines and shit.
You're not gonna fight for me?
I'm not. Hey, look, I'm gonna come visit you. You know what I'm saying? I know it's your real lions, man.
Yeah, yeah, of course they are.
How are they afraid of you? And they like taller than you, like literally taller than you.
Yeah. Are you gonna continue your fake news against me?
Can you show the video again?
Don't well, you be in the back, you watch it. I mean, that's the outro
Oh,
for
that's
the
the
show.
outro.
Yeah,
That's the
yeah,
outro.
yeah.
You
You
ain't.
can go back.
I mean, the stick you have is taller than the lions, but yourself, you like, you know what I'm saying? The lion's head, the ears are a little taller than you. You walking, you
Yeah.
know. Is that
No,
AI?
they were not taller than me, but nice try though.
They they were at least up to your earlobes.
Oh.
But yeah, you I mean, but you went kind of, man, you kind of went nasty on African Americans this show, man. You just was it
I
the
was
last
being nice.
Was it the last show where I called in because you interrupted that show early when you tried to get on
I was busy.
Niger
I had to
with the
go see
Godfrey?
my white clients.
You looked mad because I was like, "How you gonna talk about talk
You know,
about Godfrey?"
I'm gonna do part two about that, like I promised,
How?
so you can call in.
But I guess my question is, you're not even Nigerian. Why do you guys say so on this shit? Because you
What?
talking about you saying that he's not a real Nigerian and he's he a fake Nigerian and everything, and that he's going against the Nigerians, but you're a Gambian. What the hell do you have in this in this dog fight?
Well, he's trying to, project blackness, how you blacks try to fake the Africans.
No,
So
he's
since
the real deal,
hold
man.
on, hold on, you ask me a question. Since I am African American, I'm here to, correct it. You never go and, ask Tariq about all the lies he spreads about Africans, do you?
Yeah, I do all the time.
And you see, the Nigerians don't oppose what I'm saying.
No, most of them do. Actually, I went on his page. He got a lot of support from the Nigerians.
Against who?
He got a lot of the Nigerians that
But you didn't hear anyone say Afrodamus was wrong.
they don't even know you right now.
Well,
Soon,
exactly.
soon they might, but as of right now, I didn't see any Afrodamus things on this page
Are
at
you,
that
are you
particular video.
wait? Are you a tether? Are you like a tether?
A tether, what's that?
You know what? Since I can see you on screen, there's no way for us to do hairline measurement on you, but
Uh,
but one of these, to confirm, we'll have to do hairline measurement on
Wait a
you.
minute, you can't use that all the time.
Well, that's what your FDA must.
Wode Made has a hairline that's nice and full. So how can you use that all the time? You know, but
Tell that to
anyway,
your master Tariq. But thank you, little black.
no, it's big black to you.
Oh, okay, big black. Thank you, little
All right,
black.
big black,
Goodbye.
big black.
Yeah, you guys see it as usual. I knew it. I knew at some point, the blacks and some of their dusty African bumpsters are gonna call in. I wasn't surprised by it. They will have to call in and try to spread, fake news because they have to support their black relatives. But that's not what it's about. It's about truth. So this is the end of racism is coming. When you hear Project 2025, aka ending racism, that's what it is. It's about what you can do. They don't need to drop the, like saying, oh, let us, for example, you're a grown person. You're supposed to be in college. You're supposed to go, like, take the doctor's test. And you're like, oh, because I'm black. Oh, because of slavery, my great 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 grandparent was a slave. So now, since everyone is taking the doctor's test, can you just give me the the test that is less than, where I can just do 2 plus 2 equals to, and they will tell you is 4 or 5. Because I've heard this: 2 plus 2 is not 4, it's 5. And they're like, oh, yeah, you passed. This is what they've been doing. How can you trust someone like that to do surgery on you? Would you even allow that person to clean your counter? That's a problem. So that is my point. I know that the blacks can be smarter than this, but they won't let them. And I know many wouldn't like this show, but this show shall set you free. Okay? It's best that you learn from here before 2025 rolls around. Because when 2025 comes around, all this racism stuff, oh, Paul me, look at me, oh, black girl magic, oh, talking about you've invented something. What did you invent? Elon Musk, the African American. I know you guys are gonna be, oh, he white, but he's inventing flying cars. But you blacks are talking about things we cannot prove. So I hope you guys have learned something here. Nothing against the black, all love. I will see you guys in the next one. And all this flat blackness thing, you guys need to stop with it. You know, pulling that Gambian bumpster to the side to say, oh, you go and counter Afridamus as if that's going to work. How did that work out? What did that Gambian bumpster, what did he know? Other than maybe, chasing those old white women on the beach side. What else could he bring to the table? And I'm not trying to beat on him, but that's what the bumpster does. And I still love him, but he doesn't know what he's talking about. Okay? I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.
Lend thy ears to the Afridamus. Pay attention to the Afridamus. The Jews an Inca warrior. Natural is his intelligence. As a true professor, solution to brainwash diseases. Sit back, relax, and hear the wisdom. Afridamus will heal your minds. Sit back, reflect, you'll find no objection. Afridamus will clear your doubts here. Always log on to the Afridamus. Lend thy ears to the Afridamus is the truth and no doubt.